Just a beautiful day here in Tampa. Sun shining brightly. Down on the field with his sunscreen on is Shane Bacon. What's going on, Shane?
Yeah, Sam, it's nothing new to hear the word "it" thrown around a top draft pick like Baker Mayfield in terms of it factor. I asked him this week what it means to him, and he said it's possessing the type of leadership that spills over past his offense into his defense and special teams, even his coaching staff. And he said elevating those players around him is what it is all about. Last week, not so much in what he called the worst loss of his career. Let's see if he can find it today against the Bucs.
Thanks, Shane. We'll be checking in with him throughout the game. And there is the man with the it factor, Baker Mayfield. We talked with him yesterday. Very confident but serious-minded player.
He really is. He doesn't seem like a rookie. He doesn't approach this like a rookie, but what he needs to do today, Sam, needs to find some more efficiency, and that can only start with the help of his wide receivers. Way too many drops on this Browns offense.
He's got a new starting running back, Nick Chubb, the rookie out of Georgia, second-round draft pick. Carlos Hyde was traded Friday afternoon. He had been the #1 running back. Mayfield puts it up to start the game and completes it to Jarvis Landry out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Got one of the really good young lines in football. Those three in the middle are as good as they get. But the highlight here has to be on Nick Chubb. He's averaging 10.8 yards a carry, which is just absurd. But he only has 16 touches on the year. That'll probably regulate itself a little bit as this career goes on, but he's an exciting young player. See what he has today.
On 2nd and 4, Mayfield turns, swings down to Landry. Boy, they're getting Jarvis Landry involved right away. 2 quick connections with Landry and a first down at the 36-yard line.
First-round rookie Vita Vea gets his first start for Gerald McCoy, but as I mentioned in the open, Jason Pierre-Paul has been a stud for this defense. He leads them in sacks. He's really the only one generating constant pressure. He's up against a young rookie in Desmond Harrison on the other side of the ball, so keep an eye on that matchup. It should play itself out pretty well today for JPP.
Chubb stays in at running back and takes the handoff. Finds an opening, breaks a tackle, and another one gets up to the 44-yard line. Quan Alexander with a stop, 8-yard pickup on first down for Nick Chubb.
Well, if you're asking your questions, why get rid of a guy like Carlos Hyde, who's a true pro, really good guy in this locker room too, coming in as a free agent, is because you're seeing the same type of things with Nick Chubb in his limited carries. He can break tackles. If you watch the Oakland game, you saw his explosiveness as a runner. They want to see more of that out of this young kid.
2nd and 2. And the toss to Chubb. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Led by Carlton Davis, who blew up the play, the left cornerback.
New defensive coordinator, who was the linebacker coach, Mark Duffner. He's been around a long time. Now, I said they're not going to change a lot with this defense. He's in a gray shirt there. But what they're going to do, and what you should expect if you're a Bucs defender, is more simplified play calling. They had so many breakdowns in coverage. They're going to try to streamline it for these young corners, see if they can get right and get them playing fast.
Duke Johnson was split out. Now he comes into the backfield alongside Baker Mayfield on 3rd and 2. And the short pass to Johnson. And Duke Johnson, the playmaker, gets a first down out of bounds up at the 49-yard line. Quan Alexander tried to cover him. And Duke Johnson, as I mentioned, a playmaker for the Browns.
When we asked Coach Hugh Jackson why you make the trade, he's like, well, the things that Nick Chubb can't do yet as a rookie, Duke Johnson can, and that's it. He is one of the great young receivers out of the backfield in football, and he was really being underutilized, I thought. I've seen this guy play, catch balls, and take it to the house. That is a matchup between Quan Alexander and Levante David they're going to have to be on top of all day.
Nick Chubb back in at running back. Everybody out in pass patterns. And the pass overthrown, intended for Jarvis Landry.
Here's one of those young corners, Carlton Davis, 2nd-round draft pick, and this is what he does well. He excels at the line of scrimmage. You know, some young players really can't figure out how to play off coverage, and Mike Smith was an off coverage defensive coordinator. He wanted his players to see the ball. It was not playing to Carlton Davis's strength. You're going to see a lot of him up at the LOS, as they say here today.
The line of scrimmage. A handoff to Chubb, and fights his way across midfield. Gets about 2 yards down to the 49-yard line. Carl Nassib, a former Cleveland Brown who was in camp with the Browns, a Browns draft pick, was put on waivers at the end of training camp and picked up immediately by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's starting with Vinny Curry out injured.
They thought he upgraded their roster. There was a couple of transactions in there, but this was the biggest one for their defensive line. He can be very multiple. You'll see him standing around. Look, he's right here as a defensive end in a different kind of look for this blitz package coming up now.
Mayfield on third down in trouble. They got him, and down he goes. The sacks continue to pile up for the Browns. That's the 27th sack they've given up, 14th that Mayfield has been sacked.
Watch this combination right here. Last week against Atlanta, they ran it, and it got to the quarterback, and it was JPP. Again, JPP using the pick of somebody else, gets pressure on Baker Mayfield, and they got their first sack of the game. This has not been a very productive rushing the quarterback defensive line. That's only their 10th sack of the season.
Good high punt. Allowed to bounce and is down at the 1-yard line. Excellent coverage of the punt. 55-yard punt for Britton Colquitt, and the Bucs will start from their 1-yard line. Jameis Winston making his second start of the season, a 3-game suspension, played the second half against the Bears. Good numbers last week, but the interceptions killed him.
That's it, Sam. He has to protect the football. It's the one thing that just can't seem to overcome.
Bucs come out with 3 tight ends. Peyton Barber trying to get out of the end zone, was shoved back in. They're marking it outside, about a half-yard outside of the end zone.
Ruling on the field is that the runner's forward progress made it into the field of play. It's second down.
Well, the key here is the entire ball has to get out of the end zone, and Cleveland cannot challenge this. Man, that's close, buddy. I'm not sure. Or they can challenge it. I'm sorry, but here we go. I think it did get out. I don't think they're going to waste a challenge here.
Christian Kirksey, who's starting at middle linebacker today for the Browns, led the charge. On second down, flags fly, they stop the play. And a false start on the Bucs. So
before the snap, false start. Offense, number 82, half the distance to the goal. Second down.
That's Sean Hockley, the son of the great former referee of the National Football League, Ed Hockley, who's our referee today, and they move a little closer to the Bucs goal line.
A couple of inches.
Wow.
A couple of inches.
Is it try a quarterback sneak here?
Well, you expect direct runs here. Sometimes offensive coordinators will get bold and try a shot, try to catch you unawares. I think you just turn around and hand this thing off. Give yourself a little bit of room.
Got a full back in the backfield. That time, he didn't make it out. It's a safety. Trevon Coley, number 93, the defensive tackle, leads the way and gives the Browns 2 points. The defense scores points for Cleveland as the Bucs can't get out of their end zone. And this started it all. Britton Colquitt with a great punt that was down at the 1.
Yeah, and this is why you don't run stretch type extended plays down the line of scrimmage. If you don't get a push up front, you get stuck in the backfield. 7 yards deep was the runner. Stuck.
Free kick. Brian Anger, the punter, with a high, long kick backing up. Jabril Peppers at the 6. On the return, is ridden down at the 19-yard line. So the Browns with a 2-point lead and the football as Baker Mayfield comes back onto the field.
You know, Sam, last week in that bad loss to the Chargers, Baker Mayfield would drop back in the pocket, hold the ball, not be able to find a receiver, almost like he was a little bit indecisive. Today, what we're seeing, Todd Haley, 3 quick passes out of this quarterback, and out to Jarvis Landry, 2 passes to his running back. See if that trend continues, see if getting the ball out of his hands a little bit faster.
Last week they targeted Jarvis Landry 9 times, but only connected twice. They've gotten to him twice already here in the first quarter. Quick outside, flag on the play. Duke Johnson takes the pass up the sideline and is out of bounds up the 33-yard line. Another quick pass, but this one to the fine receiver out of the backfield, Duke Johnson. Check out the flag. John Hockley's first year as a referee, his 5th year in the NFL as an official.
Illegal shift, offense. Not all players were set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
And it's Jarvis Landry. You'll see him coming across, and he's just not going to get set for the snap. He just can't be moving after that motion. There's a penalty. He had a big play out there. He got Duke Johnson matched up on Isaiah Johnson, who's starting at safety today for the Buccaneers.
Landry motions. The Browns back to the 14-yard line. A 1-yard pickup by Nick Chubb. We get an update from Carissa Thompson in L.A. Carissa.
Hello, Sam. Vikings-Jets. Vikings opening drive. Kirk Cousins connects with a familiar target, Adam Thielen, for that 34-yard score. Thielen's 5th touchdown of the season. Vikings up 7-0 early. Sam, Rondé, and Shane.
Well, that's no surprise, is it? Kirk Cousins to Adam Thielen.
Man.
We had them last week, and oh my goodness.
They are some combination. 2nd and 9, Chubb and Johnson both in the lineup, with Johnson splitting out to the left side. And they motion Jarvis Landry. Mayfield fakes, looks the other way, and the pass broken up. Good coverage that time by Quan Alexander, the middle linebacker.
Well, this was the same play that they ran on the illegal formation. They're trying to fake that little toss that he made out to Duke Johnson and looking for Jarvis Landry. You see him crossing through the screen there. The coverage was good. He had to check the ball down. Good coverage here by Quan Alexander on Nick Chubb.
Brings up a 3rd and long for the Browns.
Well, these are the situations now. The rookie quarterback, you just drop back in coverage, hopefully drops this thing down in front. The defense comes up and tackle him. See what they got going here.
3 wide receivers in the game. David Njoku, the tight end. They go underneath to Jarvis Landry. He's brought down at the 21, short of the first down once again. Quan Alexander, another tackle.
Well, I got to tell you, in the past 2 games, if there was an area of this Bucs defense, an area that you expected to be a strength that wasn't, it was at the linebacker core. Both Quan Alexander and Levante David admittedly had down days in those two of those 3 losses. So they're coming up fired up today. Made a couple of nice plays already.
Good defensive series by the Bucs. And Britton Colquitt hunts it away. Good kick that bounces at the 30. And the Browns are all over it and down it at about the 28-yard line. So the Bucs, with some breathing room this time, will have the ball when we come back. That's Mark Duffner, who was the linebackers coach and still is, but now he's the defensive coordinator.
Well, look at those numbers. There's a reason you make those changes. 29th to last in every single statistical category that matters. Something had to give, and unfortunately for Mike Smith, it was his job.
Empty backfield. Peyton Barber splitting out to the right side as Jameis Winston calls signals. Winston with time. Over the middle, Adam Humphries falls forward to the 39-yard line, a first down.
Adam Humphries is a guy that will get way more action with Jameis Winston at quarterback. I don't know what the connection is, but there's definitely a connection. They were young players together, and he's just trustworthy. He's the quintessential, really, slot receiver. He does all the little underneath stuff, can do the shake routes or whatnot, and find space. Jameis loves his ability to get open.
O.J. Howard, the tight end motion. This is Peyton Barber, showing good strength and power, pushing ahead to the 45. He picks up 6 on the play. Christian Kirksey made the tackle for the Browns.
Well, this Bucs offense is 31st in rushing yards, and largely because they don't have to run the football with all that receiving talent and at tight end. But Peyton Barber had a little bit of a breakout game last week, and with the Browns defense that surrendered so many yards on the ground last week, expect them to feature it a little bit more today.
3 receivers in the game. The handoff to Barber. Again, he finds a little bit of an opening. Gets up close to the first down. Forward progress to the 49-yard line.
Well, no Joe Schobert in the starting lineup for the Browns today, so it falls on Christian Kirksey, who's played inside linebacker a little bit when they were a 3-4 unit, but now here he's got to make the transition, and he is just as athletic. I love what they've told us about him. He brings the juice to this team. Everybody else just brings cups and ices. So keep an eye on this kid. He plays hard, he plays fast, he's their emotional leader.
He picked up the first down for the Bucs. You mentioned Joe Schobert. He had played every snap until he got hurt in the game last week against the Chargers. Jameis Winston completes the pass inside the 40. Once again to Adam Humphries.
Well, Jameis does a really good job here looking through the middle of the field. Here's Adam Humphries. And then you'll see the underneath coverage of the Browns start to work to their left, but Humphries just sits down in the zone. Really good job by the quarterback moving the defense and delivers a perfect pass to his favorite receiver so far today.
No huddle offense. An empty backfield with 3 wide receivers in the game. The tight end is O.J. Howard. Winston throws too high for Peyton Barber.
Every now and then this Bucs team will get into this no huddle structure. They're not trying to go fast. They're just trying to get on the line of scrimmage, put that defense under stress, maybe quell them from making substitutions or whatnot. And as a defense, it puts you under stress. You feel like, I got to get the call. You got a new play caller in there with Christian Kirksey. The voice is different for a lot of these Brown defenders, so they'll be challenged a little bit getting lined up and ready to play.
2nd and 10 for the Bucs. Winston puts it up deep, looking for Deshaun Jackson. He overthrew him. Jackson covered by Denzel Ward.
For whatever reason, these two could not get connected on the deep pass. Here's D-Jax. He's working on a very good rookie corner in Denzel Ward. Stutter, gone. This ball is just a little bit closer to Deshaun. It's an easy touchdown. But again, this connection cannot seem to get going down the football field.
And yet Jameis Winston wants it to happen. They worked on it Friday, and they were in sharpened practice on Friday.
A little bit more air under the ball. I mean, there's not many that Deshaun can't catch up with.
Quiz Rogers is in the backfield now. A good pass-catching back on 3rd down. Winston being pressured, throws, completes to Mike Evans. He's got a first down at the Browns' 22-yard line. He is one tough receiver to cover.
Oh, there's not a ball that's ever out of his range. Here's Evans up top, and the great play here is Jameis Winston getting rid of this ball before he's out of his break. Great pressure off the edge, but works the pocket well and delivers a perfectly thrown ball to his favorite wide receiver.
Gain of 17, first down for the Bucs. Here's Peyton Barber. He is stopped in the backfield. Excellent penetration by Christian Kirksey. Leading the way, Kirksey, 5th-year man out of Iowa. It's a 3rd-round draft pick.
Oh, these guys love playing for their defensive coordinator, Greg Williams. You know that because he's so intense, so creative with a lot of the things that he does. And he ripped into him last week. Greg Williams did after that performance against the Chargers. He was hard on them. They were a bad tackling team last week, Sam. Have to be much better today against this explosive offense of the Buccaneers.
Chris Godwin motions for the Bucs. There was no gain on the last play. 2nd and 10. All receivers out. Winston steps up and runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 2 on the play. That's the man you were talking about, Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator. Very intense man.
Very, very intense. And what he does well are these situations. 3rd and long, he can open up his playbook. He's got so many unique looks, playing with the fronts, playing with the personnel, secondary guys in the game. You just don't really know what's coming. So you got to be careful here if you're Jameis Winston. Protect the football, like he's been saying all week. You don't want to give up a scoring opportunity here.
3 receivers to the right. And Winston hit as he throws, and the pass incomplete. At time, good pressure by the Browns up front.
Oh, Jamie Collins, he's going to end up coming scot-free through here. And this is what I mean. When you get that many people at the line of scrimmage, you confuse the offensive linemen, their calls. Who's taking who's setting where. And unfortunately, Jameis takes a hit because they couldn't get it right. But the big thing there, he didn't throw an interception. We know he has the proclivity of that down here in the red zone. He threw 2 of them last week.
Chandler Catanzaro on to attempt a 38-yard field goal. He's 6 for 7 this season, and that kick is through. And the Bucs have taken the lead. A good drive leads to a field goal. The Bucs lead 3-2. Drive for the Bucs, 11 plays, 52 yards. They had to settle for the field goal by Chandler Catanzaro to take the lead 3-2. Catanzaro will kick it off. Jabril Peppers, the second-year man out of Michigan, is back deep along with the rookie from Tulane, Dontrell Hilliard, also back deep for the Browns. Catanzaro kick is long and through the end zone. So the Browns will start from the 25-yard line.
Well, no Gerald McCoy today. He's got a calf issue that probably keep him out a couple of weeks. So you'll see a lot of Vita Vea. Got some playing time a couple of weeks ago. He's a different type of defensive tackle. They're playing the same position, that 3 technique, if you will, on this defensive line. Plays in that gap away from the nose. But you'll see Will Golston in there. You'll see a bunch of different bodies. So far today, they've done a pretty good job stopping this running game. This Browns running offense is 3rd most carries in the NFL. You're looking for Nick Chubb, you're going to get some more of them.
There's Nick Chubb trying to find some room, and he does. Good battle by Nick Chubb. Gets up to the 28, picked up 3. There wasn't much there when he hit the line of scrimmage.
Oh, you're exactly right, Sam. He did a great job making, a little bit of something out of nothing. The pressure up front for this Bucs D has been good today. They say they want to put pressure on this offense and this young quarterback without blitzing. And that's going to mean getting guys closer to the line of scrimmage. They're going to want to feature their running game to protect Baker Mayfield, who had a bad game last week.
Browns shift 2 tight ends, Fells and Orson Charles. There's Chubb going the other way and is chased down and brought down at the 26 as a flag down in the backfield. Looks like holding against the Browns.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Joe Bitonio, the left guard, called on the hold.
Got to get guys to the ball. And I want you to watch Levante David, him read out of this play right here. This is what they weren't doing so well the past couple of weeks, especially in contain. So many runners were getting to the edge of their defense and gashing them. But here, you see white jerseys populate to the football. It's exactly what you're looking for if you're Mark Duffner.
Ball at the 27-yard line, 3rd and 8. Bucs have been active on defense. Quan Alexander has 5 tackles already here in the first quarter. Duke Johnson in for the Browns. And it's a timeout on the field. And we'll be back right after this message from Progressive. Baker Mayfield went to the sideline, talked to Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator.
Pretty balanced play calling here. Likely trying to justify the trade. Let's get the running game going. An important 3rd down here. Really haven't been able to convert so far today.
Mayfield throws and it's incomplete. Off the hands of David Njoku, the tight end, who is covered by Brent Grimes.
Well, this is a tough matchup for Brent Grimes right here. Your corner on a much bigger tight end, but he is still a little bit twitchy. This could have been a drop too, Sam. I mean, that ball hits him in the hands. I know he gets his mitten there. Brent Grimes does at the end, but that ball hit him right where you expected it to.
3 and out for the Browns. Colquitt. Good high kick. Adam Humphries at the 32. Finds some room along the sideline. A nice return out of bounds across the 45. Time to check back in with Carissa Thompson for an update.
Thanks, Sam. Pats Bears, Pats opening drive. Tom Brady to Julian Edelman for this 9-yard score. Remember, no Gronkowski. The Pats, however, are 9-1 over the last 3 seasons without Gronk. The Bears without a field goal. Pats up 7-3.
No Gronk, no problem. They need him for later down the road.
Yeah, a little bit of slow start for the Patriots this year. Everybody was talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, but guess what? In order to beat a king, you got to beat the king. Oh, they're still on top in my mind.
Bucs start from the 45. Play fake by Jameis Winston. He's got a man. It's Chris Godwin, who's upended down at the Browns' 40-yard line. But Godwin, boy, they love him. They feel he can be a top receiver in this league.
How can you not? If it wasn't for Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson, he's probably a #1 receiver. This ball is a little bit behind, but look at him elevate. He's such a fluid and easy athlete. He can run. There's a reason why they count him as a starter in this offense, too.
Picked up 15 on that play. Winston with time again. There's Godwin again. Beautiful grab inside the 30 at the 28. Godwin, the second-year receiver out of Penn State.
Oh, here, this route's going to be here, and the linebacker's going to jump the shorter guy. And Jameis Winston does a great job waiting for that window to open. And then Godwin with another spectacular catch.
Bucs on the move again. Quick pass inside the 25 to Godwin. All of a sudden, Jameis Winston has found a guy.
Well, this guy does something really interesting in pregame. Look at this. Look at these glasses. I have never seen this. They're flashing, trying to get. There's a quick flash. There's a slow flash. He uses them in practice. He uses them in games. I got to find out what that technology is. That's pretty cool.
Ball spotted at the 24-yard line on second down. Winston lofts it for O.J. Howard, and it's incomplete. Tight coverage on the play by Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, good play by Jabril Peppers here, because when this play is started, you're thinking O.J. Howard with his size advantage wins this. The ball's a touch underthrown and hits Jabril Peppers in the back of the helmet, and they're asking for pass interference, but he did not interfere with his ability to catch that football. Just a good play.
3rd and 6 for the Bucs as we're winding down here in the first quarter. 3 receivers to the right side. Winston rolling, throwing, and completing to Adam Humphries. He's got a first down at the 15-yard line. With a second left on the clock. But once again, Jameis Winston has been sharp with his passing. End of the first quarter. Bucs on the move. Browns scored first on a safety. Bucs kicked a field goal. And the Bucs lead the Browns 3-2. Sam Rose and Rondé Barber, Shane Bacon here in Tampa. First quarter statistics. Once again, the Browns do not score a touchdown. The only team in the NFL without a touchdown in the first quarter.
No, they haven't had many long drives. That's the nexus of that problem.
From the 14 on first down, the end around. It's Deshaun Jackson inside the 5 to the goal line. And he's in. Well, they haven't targeted much in the passing game yet, but the end around, he's still got the moves and the speed.
Keep an eye on Alan Cross. They call him Honcho here. Watch this block. Obviously, Deshaun Jackson does the work, but that block springs him. Mike Evans down the field, just pushing off Demarius Randall. And this Cleveland team struggled mightily last week with reverses and jet motion handoffs to wide receivers. Took a play out of someone else's playbook, copycat league, get a touchdown out of it.
Catanzaro has missed a couple of extra points this season. This one is no good. It hit the upright and stays out. Really strange. This is a strong kicker. Catanzaro, he's made some long field goals, and that's his 3rd missed extra point this season.
I tell you, I was talking to Shane on the field before the game, and we said this kicker struggle is real. Not only with the Bucs, it's been mightily real here in Tampa, but across the league. Just the number of missed extra points. It's the most important play. I had a special teams coordinator that said this: the most important play in football is the extra point. And look at this graphic. Yeah. Tells you everything you need to know about the kicking struggles here in Tampa.
Catanzaro hanging his head. Teammates trying to pump him up. Bucs have a 9-2 lead
Well, he missed that extra point last week, and Dirk Cutter said he chased it all day. You're chasing that 1 point all day long. So he went for 2 points a couple of times and failed. So I know it seems automatic, but the league has gotten what they wanted out of that kicking change a couple of years ago. These kickers are out of their mind trying to figure out how to get 1 point on the board.
Zero kicks it off. And on the return, Dontrell Hilliard finds an opening. The rookie out of Tulane with a good return. Up close to the 35. Got a good block from his running mate, Jabril Peppers.
Well, now finally Baker Mayfield has a little bit more room to work. And this is an offense, Sam. Baker in the past 3 games has thrown the football over 40 times in each one of those games. Today, it's definitely more ball control. See if they try to open it up a little bit, not protect him as much as they had in the first quarter of this football game.
Ball at the 35. Browns like depth and receiver. He signed Brashad Perryman a week ago yesterday. He's making his first appearance in a Cleveland uniform, former Baltimore Raven. That pass intended for the tight end was broken up to Naseem. It was intended for Nick Chubb out of the backfield, excuse me.
You think Carl Naseem saw this play in training camp? He's out there covering a running back. It's a defensive end. That's a great play. Wow. That's not what you expect for a big, tall defensive end to make that type of play down the field. Well done.
Chubb, the running back. Chubb trying to bring it back the other way after the toss from Mayfield, and that loses yardage.
Well, this goes into the category of trying to do too much. I'm not sure what this play is. He's just going to try to go here and then come back this way on a little counter. You see the puller coming back the tight end, but it's Jason Pierre-Paul with that early penetration on Desmond Harrison that totally messes up that play. Get a big tackle for loss and set up a 3rd and long again for this Browns offense.
Bo Allen finished it off. Have to get to the 45 for a first down. They motion Duke Johnson. Pressure on Mayfield. He gets rid of it to Brashad Perryman, and he is hit hard as he crossed the 35-yard line by Quan Alexander.
Now there's a clear emphasis for Baker Mayfield to get the ball out of his hands quickly, because 3rd and long, you think he'd be looking down the field. Here's Brashad Perryman coming across, but watch Quan Alexander. He's right there on the 40-yard line. React, see the vision of the quarterback, and come up, lay a bomb on this receiver. Nice play. Get off on 3rd down.
Colquitt into punt again. Another good high punt. Adam Humphries lets it bounce at the 25, and it bounces sideways out of bounds. Bucs doing it well on both sides of the ball. The defense strong, led by Quan Alexander. Cleveland hasn't gotten much done offensively.
Not at all. Look at that. Those last 3 possessions, 2 yards. A lot of that's been failure on 1st and 2nd down from the offense, and then putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. And the Bucs have answered the call. Fired defensive coordinator. They have definitely responded so far today.
Evan Smith in at right guard for the Bucs in place of Caleb Benedock. From the 25, Winston under pressure, pulls it down and goes for a run. Slides around the 40-yard line, marking at the 39. 14-yard run for Jameis Winston.
Well, you're looking for a little bit of the maturation process of Jameis Winston. It's this. The coverage is very good on the back end here. And instead of forcing the ball and trying to make a play, he just decides to hold it and do it himself. Well done. Pick up some nice yardage there.
Ronald Jones, the rookie, is in at running back. Winston goes outside, completes it to Mike Evans across midfield down to the Browns' 47-yard line. Another 14-yard pickup.
Well, the Browns are light at corner today, and that was Demarius Randall out there playing outside on Mike Evans. I think they like the size matchup out here. He's been playing safety all year for this team, but he has a corner background. That was a matchup that I wasn't expecting that we're seeing today.
Winston handing it off, faking the handoff, keeping the pass on the move intended for Adam Humphries was incomplete.
Well, this is a layup sack from the other side of the formation here. But Jameis Winston, really good job reducing the shoulder, taking it away from the rusher, and getting the ball out of his hand. Sometimes an incompletion is a good play, Sam.
Brings up a 2nd and 10. Jameis Winston, 8 for 13, 95 yards.
Hey, 5-0-51.
Bucs have moved the ball well offensively, with the exception of the first time they had the ball when they started on their own 1. Winston completes it to O.J. Howard, the tight end, close to the first down marker.
This Browns defense plays a lot of Tampa too, and people may ask what that is. It's the middle linebacker running out through the middle of the defense. He's really a deep third player. It's Christian Kirksey, and when he vacates, I think they got that throw to O.J. Howard all day long. He is so good over the football. He's a huge target. He's got really solid hands. He's grown into his own here in his 2nd year at tight end. He's going to be an available option through the middle of this field, I think, for the rest of the day.
Howard to the left, 3 wide receivers to the right. It is a first down. Ronald Jones, the rookie out of USC, is the running back. And Winston delivers to O.J. Howard. He's brought down across the 20-yard line at the 19.
Well, then Greg Williams decides to go play man, and guess what? He's just as good in man-to-man coverage, too. See Kirksey go inside, and it's Derek Kindred, who has to match up on a very big, talented, huge wingspan tight end. The throw is right on time. Nice contested catch. This offense continues to roll.
18-yard pickup for the Bucs. First down at the Browns 19. Ronald Jones stays in at running back.
Ronald Jones is the guy that's gotten more and more snaps.
Takes that little pitch. Is tripped up. And there's no gain on the play.
What they really
carry with a good play, the cornerback.
Sorry, buddy. What they really want to do with him is get him in space. I mean, that's where he was very successful at USC. Is we get him in space. He's a tough tackle, but even in the preseason, he had a hard time getting going. It was week 4, I believe, against the Bears, where he finally got a uniform, got a chance to play. He still hasn't really exploded onto the scene yet. They're expecting big things out of him.
Sean Jackson goes to the right side. 3 receivers out to the left, including the tight end Cameron Brate. Deshaun Jackson. And it's incomplete. He didn't hold on. He had it momentarily. Covering him was Denzel Ward.
Yeah, good play at the line of scrimmage. And this is just a fantastic finish. Staying in the fight is Denzel Ward here, because Deshaun looks like he almost has this. But look at him rip at that football. Denzel Ward has 3 interceptions on the season. So we know that he's a ball-wear player, but he tackles the football. He's got a caused fumble, 2 caused fumbles already this year. This good kid is going to be a fantastic corner in the NFL.
Oh, that was close. What a battle. Denzel Ward, a first-round draft pick. Jaquiz Rogers in the backfield for the Bucs. Winston being pressured, wrapped up, and down he goes. Emmanuel Ogbah. There's a flag down deep in the Browns secondary. Let's see what the call is.
Before the quarterback was sacked, illegal contact by the defense, number 58. That 5-yard penalty would be enforced from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
Yep, there's Kirksey covering Cam Brate here, and just after 5 yards, they are so diligent on this, and that's it. I mean, it's 10 yards down the field. It's the correct call. The flag comes in late, but there was obvious contact there, and that's unfortunate because this Browns front, this defensive line, they are so good. You got Myles Garrett, you got Larry Ogunjobi in the middle, and Emmanuel Ogbah, who missed a couple games early in the season, and they can bring some heat. They had a sack there. Unfortunately, you get a pass interference or a little contact down the field.
Bucs with a first down. It's Jones through the hole. Nice hole down to the 5-yard line. Good run for Ronald Jones.
Again, good blocking up front. Really good job by Ali Marpet climbing to the second level. Watch this. He's going to push that off, the first guy off to Donovan Smith. He gets up on the middle linebacker, creates a little bit more room for his runner. That's just well done. That's probably the best run of Ronald Jones' career, I think, there, Sam.
Now, the Bucs have only 2 running touchdowns this season. One by Ryan Fitzpatrick, the other quarterback, and the one earlier in this game on the end around by Deshaun Jackson. No running back has run for a touchdown. Let's see what Ronald Jones does. He's stopped short of the line of scrimmage.
Another nice play by Denzel Ward. And the one thing that you have to do in a Greg Williams coach defense, if you're a corner, is tackle. This ball gets stretched all the way out to the corner, and guess who's there?
Denzel Ward picked 4th overall in the draft.
And you know what? I thought it was a little bit high for a Denzel Ward, but I'm telling you, the games that I've watched, I have been overly impressed with his skill set, his ability to find the football, and his toughness.
And you would know. And a flag comes flying in. On Hockey League calling the other officials around him.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 90. Half the distance to the goal is the penalty. First down.
That's Emmanuel Ogbah on the penalty. Hugh Jackson, the head coach, upset with the call. And the Browns just hurting themselves with a couple of penalties here.
These are the things that you want to be able to coach out of your team, but they're hard. Hard count gets you easy first down pickup for the Bucs without having to run a play.
First and goal at the 4-yard line. 10th play of the drive for the Bucs. And the handoff to Peyton Barber for a touchdown. There's a flag that came in late. Check out the flag here.
Well, look at Ogbah's shoulder pad. You think there's a hold there?
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
It's on Evan Smith, man who came in at the start of this possession.
And Evan Smith takes some plays for Caleb Benenoch every game that they're planned. There's the hold on the second level. I guess it wasn't Ogbah. He got the linebacker instead. And actually, he didn't need to hold him. Peyton Barber has already passed him in the end zone.
The ball back to the 13-yard line. First and goal for the Bucs. Lead it 9-2. Threatening here again. All receivers out. Winston takes off. 5, dives for the goal line. And he's in. Touchdown. Jameis Winston with his first rushing touchdown of the season.
What a brave play by Jameis Winston here. This is just pure class, really. Watch as he pumps the football here. Right there, he moves a linebacker. I think it was Kirksey when he dives over right there, and that's how he was able to clear enough space to dive into that end zone. Nice drive by the Bucs, capped off by Jameis Winston running the football. We don't see it a lot out of him. He tends to like to run to throw. But there, he took it himself. Touchdown.
So 3 rushing touchdowns for the Bucs this season. 2 by quarterbacks, 1 by a wide receiver.
That's exactly what I expect.
It's a passing team, but the Bucs with a strong first half. Now Catanzaro, another extra point try. This one straight down the middle. Outstanding drive by the Bucs, finished off by Jameis Winston with the long dive into the end zone. It's 16-2. 10 plays, 75 yards. Jameis Winston with his 22nd career rushing touchdown. Bucs have put up 182 yards offense.
And very efficiently they've done that. Passing the football, getting the ball in running backs' hands haven't been that effective. They have moved up and down the field pretty much at will here in the first half.
Catanzaro's kickoff through the end zone. The Browns will start at the 25.
Well, Sam, you talking about instant impacts. Fire your defensive coordinator and look at these totals. That point differential, points allowed, yards allowed, most importantly, in the first half of games. They've been able to come back and games later in the process, but they've had such bad starts. Not so much today.
Now the Browns have to get something done offensively. Nick Chubb, the running back. Baker Mayfield. Off the play fake. Mayfield, late rush. JPP slipped by him. And the pass outside is caught up at the 31-yard line by the rookie Damon Ratley.
Great elusiveness by Baker Mayfield. And JPP is going to come wrap around right here and get to the quarterback. Thinks it's a sack, but strong enough to shake him off and then keep your eyes down the field. That is so well done by a young quarterback. You have the urge to run there, but all I've seen him get out of the pocket, he wants to throw the football. Well done.
2nd and 4. Nick Chubb on the carry. And he's got a first down. Turns it into a nice gain up to the 45-yard line. Good run by Nick Chubb.
Well, that's more like it. That's the Nick Chubb that we're used to seeing. And he gets some nice blocking up front. There's a double team that he runs right off of and just got that energy. You know, he's got that people use the word juice. He shows it. I mean, it's in his running style, the way that he runs. You know he's going to be successful in this NFL.
Longest run for the Browns thus far in the game. Chubb picked up 14, carries again. Little cutback inside. There's a flag on the play as Chubb went across midfield to the Bucs 49. We check out the flag. I think it's going to be against the Browns.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense number 70. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
Evan Zeitler, the right guard, called on the penalty. The Browns' 4th penalty of the first half.
Zeitler. He's the one pulling. He's got, oh yeah, right on the face mask of JPP. Wasn't intentional. I think he knew right away that he had got his hands a little bit out of position.
Aaron Fells was shaken up on the last play. He's gone to the sideline. Tight end for the Browns. Off the play fake. Mayfield wanted to go deep. And stays in bounds. Gets up to the 37, 38-yard line.
Haven't mentioned Vita Vea much today, but look at his big body. This is a pretty good rush here. He's not going to be Gerald McCoy with all that quickness, but this guy was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year last year. He had a bunch of sacks. He's going to be more of a run defender. He's trying to get after the quarterback there, but again, great job by Baker Mayfield escaping the pocket, making something out of nothing when it got narrow for him. Got some positive yards out there.
He has 8 names. The first name is Tavita. The last name is Vea. In between, I can't pronounce the other 6.
I'm going to let you try at some point today.
Mayfield outside quickly. And Duke Johnson on the reception. Gets up close to the original line of scrimmage, the 44-yard line.
They got to get Jarvis Landry active. You know, I thought it was interesting this week, Sam, reading some of his quotes and saying, got to stay out of the numbers. I mean, this guy led the league in receptions. He's got more receptions than people probably would even ever know. But he's got a rookie quarterback, too. He needs to take some of his frustration and channel it towards the positive side of this young football team, especially on offense.
3rd and 11. Mayfield gets time, throws short to Landry, makes a nice move, and he's down at the Bucs 49-yard line, 4 yards short of the first down. Quan Alexander coming in to make the tackle.
Well, again, you're seeing just simple stuff on defense. They're playing cover 2 a lot. They're playing 3 deep, 4 under. There's none of these communication errors that left guys running wide open in the secondary, and I think that's a smart thing to do. I think that's one of the things that Mark Duffner emphasized when he took over as defensive coordinator. Don't make it hard on them. Let them play fast, come up and make tackles. We've seen that a bunch so far today.
Britton Colquitt booms one inside the 10, bounces into the end zone for a touchback. The Bucs will start from the 20. They have a 16-2 lead on the Browns. Points on each of their last 3 possessions for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The field goal and 2 touchdowns. Missed extra point. They have 16 points on the board. And start from the 20-yard line. Caleb Benedict, Number 77 back in at right guard for the Bucs. Jameis Winston being pressured, goes outside to his tight end, and it's complete to Anthony Auclair. We get an update from Carissa Thompson. What's happening?
Well, Sam, let me tell you, Patriots trailing 17-7 in Chicago following a Bears touchdown. Cordero Patterson, taking this one 95 yards for the score. His 6th career kickoff return for a touchdown, tied for 3rd most all-time. Pats trail 17-14. Sam?
Thanks, Carissa. Pat's coming back in that game after the Bears had taken over.
Here we go.
A handoff to Peyton Barber, gets a couple of yards on the play, up to the 27-yard line, bring up a 3rd and 3.
You know what, Sam? We met with Demarius Randall yesterday, and we asked him about covering Mike Williams. He kind of gave us a little smirk, and I don't think that I read the tea leaves right, because with E.J. Gaines being out, I thought that they would move T.J. Carey out to corner, but Demarius Randall is playing corner, just like he did in Green Bay today, and Denzel Ward is the one traveling around the field to some of these other receivers. In the slot, Denzel Ward is covering Deshaun Jackson. That should be a matchup to watch right there.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers left. Winston throws, got a man wide open. It's Mike Evans, and he's out of bounds at the 45-yard line. There's that tough matchup.
Well, this is just utter confusion in the secondary here. You saw Denzel Ward move over to the other side of the field. Look at these guys moving still. The ball's getting ready to get snapped. And look, there's Bree and Bodie Calhoun way late getting over the top of that defense, and Jameis Winston sees the mess up and fires a easy completion to Mike Evans.
Gain of 29 on the play. Ball at the Browns 44. Winston fires, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Kirksey. Christian Kirksey, the middle linebacker. The Browns, who lead the NFL in takeaways, come up with a big pick. There is a flag on the play. Actually, 2 flags down.
What a great interception by Christian Kirksey.
We talked about it earlier. The one thing that hurts Jameis Winston, those picks. Those interceptions haunt him.
Well, he had his receiver running behind Christian Kirksey, but the ball is just, it's under-delivered. It's not going to hit its target.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Before the interception, holding offense number 69. After the interception, personal foul, peel back block by the return team number 90. By rule, the peel back foul only will be enforced 15 yards. It's Cleveland's ball. First down.
Well, here's Christian Kirksey right here, and just watch this throw by Jameis Winston. He's not covering O.J. Howard. He's just dropping into the zone. You see how much room he had behind him, but the ball is under-delivered, but a great interception, and there's the crackback block. You saw it right there. Emmanuel Ogbah.
Kirksey comes up with the interception, the Browns' 10th interception of the season. They are one of the tops in the league. They came into the game tied for 4th, but led the NFL, coming into today's game in takeaways. That's their 17th of the season. They've been outstanding in that department.
It is definitely their winning edge, Sam. It's the way they get shorter fields. Because we said about this offense, they haven't had that many 10-play long drives down the field, but set themselves up in favorable field position all year has allowed them to score.
Duke Johnson on the last carry was stopped at the line of scrimmage. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Bucs have a lot to celebrate. They have a 14-point lead. Back in Tampa, 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. The Browns' points have come on to safety.
Yeah, and you got to be questioning the Carlos Hyde thing right now. This guy was so productive, your workhorse. They haven't gotten anything going. They've been so conservative and vanilla in the first half.
Longest completion has been 7 yards. Mayfield throws outside. That one's longer. Nice grab by Duke Johnson coming out of the backfield. Levante David covering on the play.
Well, this is Duke Johnson. I mean, Duke Johnson could be a receiver in the NFL if he wanted to be. You know he's got that running back build. He's got such good hands, such good body control, making those type of plays. And nice throw.
And I was wrong. That completion was 7 yards.
There you go.
Time for the longest of the game.
We got a theme going.
All receivers out. Mayfield in trouble. They got him. Second sack of the game. Carl Nassib, the former Brown, takes him down.
Baker Mayfield taking his time going through progressions, but Carl Nassib is flying off the corner. You're going to see him. He's over here. Just watch this rush. Watch him work here. Goes past the rusher, around, and then back in. And that is an awesome play. Working on a rookie over there. He's probably licking his chops going against his old football team that let him go in the preseason. Thank you very much.
So once again, Britton Colquitt on the field to punt it away. The Bucs have plenty of time and all their timeouts remaining. See if they can get some more offense going. Colquitt kicks it away. Long kick. Adam Humphries goes back, went through his hands. He's got to pick it up and play it. Avoids one man. A flag on the play. Humphries out of bounds at the 10-yard line. 2 flags on the play. That was some punt. And the penalty will be against the Bucs and set them back deeper in their own territory.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 29. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Ryan Smith, the man called for the illegal block.
As Adam Humphries goes hustling for this football, you'll see him come into the frame. He's really just trying to clear the room for his returner here, but numbers are there. Just, I mean, that's kind of a weak push. I think he was going to the ground anyways, but really sometimes with these officials, if you're in that position and a guy goes down, they're wanting to throw the flag anyways.
Look where the Bucs are. They're back inside their own 1-yard line.
We've been here
That's
before.
where they were early in the game when the Browns got a safety.
Let's see if they come out and try to run the football again here. I wouldn't be surprised if Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, tries to take a shot here.
Yeah. You're right. And the pass is complete to Jacquizz Rodgers out of the backfield, so that gives them a little breathing room.
Well, the Browns are in somewhat of a loose coverage. Keep everything in front of you, playing the 2-minute odds here, just not wanting Tampa to be able to march down the field easily. They gave up a quick, easy completion to get off that goal line.
Ball up to the 12-yard line, a first down. Rodgers still in the game for the Bucs. Winston's pass complete to Chris Godwin, and he steps out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Well, situational football. You know, the Bucs want to try to move this down as best they can. They still have 2 timeouts remaining. See if they can get themselves in field goal position. And if you're the Browns, again, you're going to see a lot of cover 2 here. 2 high safeties, corners just in the flat, making sure nothing ends up behind them.
3 receivers go to the right side, including the tight end, Cameron Brate. Brate now motions toward the line. Winston going short to the tight end, Brate. Dropped the ball, and it's recovered by the Browns. Looks like Kirksey recovered the fumble. TJ Carey punched it out, forced the fumble, and Christian Kirksey's having himself a game.
This is exactly what this Browns team needs, and this is how they feed. This is how they eat. This team searches for turnovers. I mean, that wasn't just a tackle. TJ Carey is looking for this football, puts it right on the football. No chance for Cameron Brate with the way that he's holding that. And then the scoop and puts Baker Mayfield on the 20-yard line for a chance to score right before half. What a great play by this defense.
This is a big turnaround if the Browns can cash in here. They have 2 timeouts remaining. With the ball at the Bucs 19, Mayfield throwing for the corner, incomplete.
That's a good throwaway. You don't want to force the ball down here. You've seen other teams, Tampa last week, trying to force the ball into red zone, get a giveaway. Baker Mayfield makes the smart play there and just throws it out of bounds with good coverage on his Jarvis Landry.
M.J. Stewart, the rookie out of North Carolina, was covering Landry on the play. Another one of those young defensive backs the Bucs have. Here's 2nd and 10.
And they go empty backfield, and here's Jarvis Landry. Might want to be looking for him again.
Duke Johnson way out to the left. Mayfield looks right, throws for Landry, and he was well covered, incomplete. And again, it was M.J. Stewart on him.
Well, M.J. Stewart having to play nickel. They've had a bunch of injuries. I don't know if they thought that they were going to have to start him this quickly, but he's been beat a lot this year. He's had some tough games, but this is well played. Now, if I was a corner, I'd like to see him turn the other way to go to this football, because he gives Jarvis Landry a chance to go over top of him by putting his back into Jarvis Landry. But still a great play. Baker Mayfield not able to connect.
With 40 seconds remaining in the half, 3rd down and 10 for the Browns. All receivers out. Mayfield with time throwing short. And stopped short of the 10-yard line. And shoved back was Damian Ratley.
Take the timeout. This was a...
The ball is down around the 11-yard line as the Browns call timeout. Let's check out with Kurt Menefee what's happening on the Visa halftime report.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, we'll let you know how the Titans and Chargers ended up in London, plus how the Patriots are doing against the Bears, and a big AFC South matchup between Houston and Jacksonville. Right, Terry? Terry's a little stiff today. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime.
Everyone needs one of those life-size Terry Bradshaws in their house.
You can have one. I'm good. Kicker on the sideline, Sam. They're going for it on 4th down.
Okay. They need a couple of yards, 2 yards for a 1st down. They still have a timeout remaining. Duke Johnson is the running back. All receivers out. The blitz coming. Mayfield avoids it. Runs for the 1st down. He's got it. The ball's knocked down and he goes out of bounds.
Wow, that's going to be Bucs ball. It came out and went behind the 1st down marker. You see the official all right away.
The ruling on the field is that the fumble went out of bounds backwards. It's a turnover on downs. 1st down, Tampa Bay.
Lavonte David batted the ball loose.
Great job by Baker Mayfield. We've seen it all day, his elusiveness in the pocket, but what a hustle play by Lavonte David, knocking that ball out. And you would love to have him protect that football a little bit better, but what a fantastic play by this linebacking group again of the Buccaneers.
And there's an injured player down. It's Quan Alexander, the middle linebacker. Right now, you see the entire, most of the Bucs team out on the field, concerned for their teammate Quan Alexander being examined by the medical staff. Didn't see what happened. We were so focused on Lavonte David. You're right. He made a great play. Quan Alexander, a key man on this Bucs defense, who's having a terrific game. Looks like he's putting a little pressure on that leg.
Yeah, he was the one that brought the initial pressure on Baker Mayfield. Look at him as he goes to the ground right there, grabbing his leg. Not sure what that could be, but you're right, Sam. He is such an important player on this defense, middle linebacker on this football team, calls all the plays, seems to be walking around okay. And
that's a great sign. Yeah. All right, heading for the locker room. But a big play by the Bucs defense as they stop the Browns.
Again, they've been answering the bell all day long today.
Final seconds of the 1st half. And the Bucs, Jameis Winston takes a knee, and that's the end of the 1st half. The Bucs fell behind 2-0 on a safety. After that, their offense took charge of the game and their defense was strong. And the Bucs have a 16-2 lead at halftime. The play of the first half is presented by DirecTV. More for your thing, that's our thing. And the touchdown run by Jameis Winston. Diving for the touchdown, capping off a 14-yard run. The Bucs trying to break a 3-game losing streak. Will lead it 16-2. Time for the Visa halftime report. Let's go to LA and Kurt Menefee. He didn't make it out. It's a safety. It's Deshaun Jackson inside the 5 to the goal line. 5 dives for the goal line. And he's in. Touchdown. That was today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. Moments away from the start of the second half, and the Buccaneers with a 16-2 lead. Sam Rosen along with Rondé Barber. And certainly the change of defensive coordinator had an effect on the Bucs, and the trade of Carlos Hyde may have had a big effect on the Browns.
Well, we come into this game, and those are the two biggest headlines of the day. And look, Mark Duffner has definitely simplified things for this defense. There's no communication errors, no blown coverages that we've seen out of this Bucs young secondary. And if you're looking at the Browns, I mean, you got to be questioning. You let a guy in Carlos Hyde go, and they have not been very productive running the football today. And that's not necessarily a knock on Nick Chubb, but they only have 11 rushes today. So they haven't had the ball, possessed it long enough to get anything going.
The Bucs deferred to start the game, received the second half kickoff, and through the end zone it goes. The Bucs will start at the 25. They had 243 total yards offensively in the first half to 74 for the Browns. Jameis Winston, 15 for 22, 184 yards. Did throw the one interception. Continues to be a bugaboo that he needs to get out of his game.
Yeah, they survived 2 giveaways in the first half, and it's not something that they've necessarily done well, but that credit again falls back on the defense with that big stop right before the half to allow no points for this Browns football team.
Peyton Barber is the tailback and squirms through a hole, gets up to the 29-yard line, picking up 4 on the play.
Good word there, Sam. Squirming.
Empty backfield. Winston has the ball batted out of his hands and picked up by the Browns. And the Browns, it is a fumble, and it's recovered by the Browns.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Cleveland.
Myles Garrett get to this.
Myles Garrett dominating Donovan Smith here, just with speed and that power. Look at that leg drive go to the quarterback. That ball is definitely a fumble.
Yes.
And again, this Browns defense comes up with a takeaway when they need it. And again, Sam, we mentioned it earlier. The offense hasn't been able to get anything going. Moving the ball down the field is just they get down to the 30-yard line and give themselves an opportunity here, 25-yard line, sorry, gives themselves an opportunity to score.
Another takeaway for the Browns. And they have the ball at the Bucs' 26-yard line. Let's see what adjustments they make offensively. 180. What's that? Nick Chubb is the running back. Baker Mayfield throws on first down and completes a short pass inside the 20 to the 19 to the tight end David Njoku.
New linebackers in the game here. Darius Taylor, who is their strong side linebacker, is going to have to slide to the middle, and he's done that. He's cross-trained on this defense to be the Mike linebacker on game days, because it doesn't seem like Quan Alexander is going to be able to come back in this game. And at the other linebacker, you got Jack Sitchie, a rookie, coming in and playing that strong side for Darius Taylor.
Sitchie, number 48, rookie out of Wisconsin. On second down, the carry now close to the first down marker at the 15-yard line. And it is a first down for the Browns, only their 4th first down of the game. Browns with a big opportunity to get back in the game. Down by 14, but deep in Bucs territory. 3 wide receivers in. Chubb, the running back. Mayfield puts it up for the end zone. He's got a man, and it is touchdown. David Njoku, the tight end.
They just isolated him on the backside of a 3-by-1 formation, so you knew he was going to get man-to-man coverage, and he's going to end up on Isaiah Johnson. It's just a mismatch, really. Njoku's got such good size and receiving skill. Baker Mayfield was looking nowhere else for that pass. Second touchdown in 2 weeks. Way to capitalize on that takeaway by their defense.
Second touchdown of the season for David Njoku. He leads all the Browns receivers. That is the 7th passing touchdown for the Browns. The takeaways continue for the Browns defense. It leads to a short field and offense. Myles Garrett batting it away. Njoku with a grab for the touchdown. Baker Mayfield, 15-yard touchdown pass, longest play of the game for the Browns offense. It started with a strip sack and fumble caused by Myles Garrett.
Well, you talk a lot about complimentary football. It's like this old cliche. That's it. Especially when you're concerning the Browns. You got to play well on defense, force takeaways, a league high in takeaways with 3 more today. And then you have an opportunistic offense, as you say, Sam. Takes advantage of it and scores right away. Got a little bit more of a ball game now.
And the kickoff to Jacquizz Rodgers over his head and through the end zone. We're checking in with Shane Bacon along the sideline. Shane.
Yes, Sam, I talked to Hugh Jackson before he went in to the locker room at halftime, and he mentioned that 4th and 2 decision to go for it. He said it was something to jumpstart the team. And he said Baker Mayfield had it. He said he had the first down, fumbled the ball out of bounds, and he hopes that the offense can get the ball to their big-time players if they want to get something going. And, guys, that's just what they did there on the back end of that 3rd turnover.
Thanks, Shane. Hugh Jackson, I mean, that's trying to put more positive after that game last week. He's got to get something positive going for his team.
He was exceptionally calm when he met with us yesterday. He had some like that quiet confidence about his football team. Know that they're going to respond today.
Peyton Barber on the carry, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Defensive charge led by Derek Kindred, the safety. Jameis Winston with a good first half. 15 for 22, 184 yards, and a 14-yard rushing touchdown. The other touchdown was scored by Deshaun Jackson on a run as well. Winston puts it up and throws it too far for Mike Evans. Let's get an update from Carissa Thompson. What's happening, Carissa?
Well, Sam, Texans were up 13-0 in Jacksonville when Deshaun Watson connects with DeAndre Hopkins, his 4th of the year for that 10-yard score. Houston leads this one 20-0 in the 3rd. Cody Kessler now under center for the Jags. It's all yours, Sam.
That division is wide open.
Yeah, it is. Nobody wants to take it right now. Look at that. Bunch of even teams there.
On 3rd and 10, Winston throws incomplete, but a flag on the play. Trying to get it to Adam Humphries. Humphries was covered by T.J. Carey.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense number 38. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
T.J. Carey, who we thought was going to play outside, remains as in the nickel slot as he tries to make this break inside. See the hole right on top of his shoulder pad. I don't know that Adam Humphries would have been able to catch that ball, but it's the infraction before the throw where you get the penalty.
That's the 3rd penalty on 3rd downs that's led to a first down.
That's a great point, Sam. Bunch of self-inflicted wounds by this Browns defense in that regard.
Putting up long for Jackson, that's incomplete. And there's Denzel Ward covering Deshaun Jackson. There is a flag on the play at the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul. roughing the passer, defense number 90. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Emmanuel Ogbah. And the Browns just piling up the penalties. That's their 7th.
He's on this side of the ball. You're going to see this little rush move inside, and as he gets to the quarterback, hands to the helmet. And it's tough. I sympathize with him. He's trying to deflect the ball, affect the pass of Jameis Winston. In the process, his hands come down on the helmet. First down, Bucs.
Penalties have led the Bucs out to their 45. Peyton Barber skips one man, turns it into a nice run. Flag on the play. As Barber gets down to the Browns 42. This one's going to be against the Bucs, I believe.
I think it's going to be against Chris Godwin right there at the point of attack. They're going to talk it through, but just as Peyton Barber made that cut back inside, his receiver was blocking whoever was covering him. I think the Bucs know this one's coming back.
There is no foul on the play. The block is from the side. Second down.
A little talk over, and they pick up the flag.
Here's Godwin. Just watch as he comes back in to make this play. It's close. His hands close to being on his back, but great run by Peyton Barber. You see that change of direction, Sam?
Yeah.
The guy is big. I mean, he's not a nifty looking back, but he's got great change of direction, runs with awesome power. Talking to Dirk Cutter about Peyton Barber, he said he's better than you think he is. And everybody discounts him because nobody really knows who he is. But I got to tell you what, man, I've watched a lot of film on him. When he gets his opportunities, he takes them. He is, without a doubt, their starting running back. Ronald Jones, who's in the game now, really hasn't had that same type of impact when he's been given the ball as a runner.
And even the Browns players that we talked to said
absolutely
Peyton Barber deserves more respect.
Absolutely.
Ball is spotted at the Browns 43. It's a first down. Peyton Barber with 9 carries for 26 yards. Ronald Jones splits out now out of the backfield as they go empty. Now Jones shifts back. All receivers out. Short pass to Jones in stride. Down the sideline, he's shoved out of bounds at the 28-yard line, but a 15-yard pickup and a first down.
Good job by this coordinator, Todd Monken. He starts outside, he comes back into the backfield, and so they've identified what coverage they're in. So Jameis Winston knows if he just holds that linebacker for a second, which you did, you see him look through the middle of the field and then just dumps that ball out to his wide open running back. Easy pickup for first down yardage there.
Peyton Barber back in on first down. It's Barber spinning, and a flag on the play in the backfield of the Bucs. Short pickup on the play by Peyton Barber.
You're going to get a hold here on Caleb Benenoch, I believe.
Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Now here's Caleb Benenoch, and he's really struggled this year, Sam. Not only with some of these things, but missed opportunities, missed assignments. And here's a reason why Evan Smith, who's their backup center, steals reps from him every single game, because he just can't get right at that position. It's the one really weak link of this Bucs offensive line.
Bucs go empty with the ball back at the 38-yard line, and they stop the play.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Donovan Smith, the left tackle. So now the Bucs piling up penalties, pushing them backwards. Browns penalties this quarter already. 2 for Cleveland, 2 for the Bucs. For the game, the Browns have 7, the Bucs have 5.
This is a tough position for a play caller here.
Winston's pass. That was incomplete. I guess he just wanted to make sure he made something, and Barber gets up slowly, and he's limping a little bit.
Yeah, and he was a little slow to get up after that run as well. That's why he came right out of the game. after that first down run a couple of snaps ago. Not sure what is going on with him. Keep an eye on him. Without him, you do have Jacquizz Rodgers, who does a little bit of everything for this offense, and Ronald Jones, who we've been mentioning all game long, getting more opportunities today.
Have to get to the 18 for a first down. And that pass batted away. Good play by Emmanuel Ogbah. Ogbah's name has been mentioned several times. He has been active up front.
Yeah, he really has. And he doesn't get the attention that his counterpart, Myles Garrett, gets, but I tell you, he is effective. I love how they move him inside and out. He's a defensive end by trade, but they got Denard Avery, the linebacker on the line of scrimmage. He goes inside, which on a matchup that he probably likes. And that's being ball aware as a rusher. He can't get there to the quarterback, just get in the throwing lane, causes an incompletion.
3rd and 25. The Browns have 2 defensive backs back at the 20-yard line. Winston throwing deep, and it's off the hands and incomplete. Trying to get it to Adam Humphries.
Just playing too deep, like you said, Sam, man underneath. And really you do this with a quarterback that can't run on long distance yardage because you just want to disrupt this throwing lane. This is almost a great catch. It was contested, and Adam Humphries not able to come down with it.
So the Bucs, who are on the move, penalties dropped them back and now are forced to punt. Brill Peppers is deep. Brian Anger puts it up. Peppers at the 8-yard line with a fair catch. And the Browns come up with a big stop and a chance to tie up this game. Opportunity for Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. Down by 7. They have the ball starting on the 8-yard line.
And we'll see what Todd Haley decides to do here. Obviously, this is not a team mentioned it ad nauseum today that drives the field. But they got something going on that last drive. We saw Baker with his longest completion to Njoku on that touchdown.
Nick Chubb, the tailback, takes the handoff. There's a good hole there. Chubb up to the 15-yard line. Picked up 7 on the play.
I gotta tell you, it's just good blocking. That interior 3 of this Browns offensive line are so good. I like to think that they're a law firm. Antonio Treader and Zeitler. They can handle all your needs, all your blocking needs. That was the first time that we saw a hole like that for Nick Chubb. He took advantage of it.
10 carries, 35 yards for Nick Chubb. 2nd and 3. Landry motions. He's in the slot. Off the play fake. Baker Mayfield throwing for Landry, overthrows him. He had to step on the defender, Carlton Davis.
He had great coverage, though, Carlton Davis did. This is a little in-and-out route. He's trying to pretend like he's going to go across the field, then he's going to whip back outside, and Carlton Davis does a really nice job staying with him. You know, his eyes are a little bit bad. They're looking for the quarterback. Makes Baker Mayfield put enough air over this to cause an incompletion.
Here's a 3rd and 3 for the Browns. Duke Johnson is split out. He's on the field. Nick Chubb in the backfield with Baker Mayfield. Mayfield with time, throwing short and completing it to Callaway. Antonio Callaway has had a quiet day, but cut across the field, and it's a first down for the Browns, a pickup of 14.
Well, the Bucs are going to try to show man pressure here, but they drop back out into a zone. You see, just crossing through the zone, Baker Mayfield does a great job identifying that and getting the ball to the playmaker. Let him do the work after the fact, and I really think that's what this offense is planned to do today. Let Baker Mayfield just be a distributor, not try to make all the tough throws, get it to those playmakers and let them play.
Mayfield on the handoff, and the Bucs all over that play. Late flag just came in. It's like a holding call. Let's see who it's against here.
I don't know who the hold was on, but Jason Pierre-Paul just dominated Harrison there to make that tackle for loss.
Holding, defense number 56. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic. First down.
That's Raheem Nunez-Roches, a backup defensive lineman, called for the hold.
That's a rare call, but See it often. A lot of times these defensive tackles get in there and try to, without letting the line get up to the second level, they'll just grab the inside of a shoulder pad, and I think that's exactly what happened there.
First down, Browns at their 34. Mayfield buys some time, pulls it down, and is brought down for the loss of a yard by Darius Taylor. Ooh. And we've got a player down on the field for the Bucs.
There's a Darius Taylor again, moving to Mike linebacker now. This is just a blitz. He just chases him all the way across the field here, and Vita Vea turns him back. He's able to make the play. We got another injured player down here on the field, Sam, and that's Jack Cicci, who just came into the football game.
Rookie out of Wisconsin being checked out. We'll step out for a moment. Jack Cicci going over, and the medical tent coming up as he gets checked out. He was injured on the play. Linebacker shortage for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 2nd and 11 for the Browns. Baker Mayfield steps up, in trouble, and he's taken down. 3rd sack of the game for the Bucs. This time it's William Golston.
And Will Golston is just battling here. Watch him right here. There's no quickness or anything. This is just power on power. Pushes the tackle right back into the pocket. And that's something I see on film a lot from this Browns team. The tackles narrow the pocket for Baker Mayfield. He has nowhere to go. He can't step up. The Bucs get another sack.
Ball back to the 28. They have to get to the 43 for a first down. Duke Johnson in the backfield for the Browns. All receivers out. Mayfield throws short. Jarvis Landry taken down at the 34-yard line.
And again, this Bucs defense, because they're succeeding on 1st and 2nd down, they're able to play this kind of loose zone behind. That's MJ Stewart comes up with a tackle. This is MJ Stewart. Just watch the way they vacate the zone. Everything stays in front of them. You see the line to gain. They're nowhere near it. Just come up and be tacklers. That's well done by this Bucs young secondary.
It's a good point you made. They were strong on 1st and 2nd down and shoved the Browns back with the 2 sacks. Colquitt, good high punt. Adam Humphries on the return. Gets a little room and goes out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line. Well, we're down to the final 2 in Major League Baseball, and the World Series is on Fox Tuesday night in Boston. It's the Red Sox and the Dodgers, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. Game 1 of the World Series. Dodgers in it for the 2nd year in a row with a big win in Milwaukee last night. And the Red Sox just waiting for the winner. Should be a great World Series.
Mike 51. Mike 51.
Peyton Barber limping earlier, is back in the game for the Bucs. And he's stopped in the backfield, gets away. How about that effort? Oh, he's just dragging a defender with his jersey hanging out. What an effort by Peyton Barber.
Tell me what's not to like about that. I mean, this guy, this is amazing. Takes on a unblocked player, spins off of him, runs through him, and then he's like pulling a sled here. This is off-season training. He's pulling his defender. Man, it's a 3-yard run or whatever it was, but that's Peyton Barber in a nutshell for you.
It looked like a loss of 4. It turned into a gain of 2. Good effort by Peyton Barber. Auclair shifts to the fullback's role. All receivers out. Pass to Anthony Auclair. They back up tight end. He's brought down at the 34. We go to Carissa Thompson, who has an update for us.
Thanks, Sam. I thought that was Rondé, working out in the gym on that sleigh. Vikings leading the Jets 10-7. They're still without Dalvin Cook. Latavius Murray takes this one in from 11 yards out. Vikings lead 17-7 in the 3rd. Sam?
Thanks, Carissa. Yeah, Latavius Murray's been outstanding.
Yeah,
for the
2 weeks in a row now. God, who, Dalvin Cook who? No, we know what Dalvin Cook is. Latavius Murray's been a great fill-in for them.
Here's the 3rd and 4 for the Bucs. Winston throws wide open. Mike Evans. He's got a first down. Demarius Randall's trying to cover him, but it ain't easy.
Demarius Randall spent a lot of years playing corner. He says he likes playing safety better. He got better eyes back there. And again, I told you, we talked to him, and he just didn't give us any indication that he was going to be playing corner. But I think that's the matchup of the day for the Browns defense. Denzel Ward has been traveling with players all season long, but I think this physical matchup, the size matchup, Demarius Randall gives them a better option on Mike Evans.
Evans 4 catches, 69 yards. Ronald Jones in at running back with a carry. And wiggling his way up for a couple of yards at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, that's a big power play right there, Sam. Just two pullers out in front of him. Does a good job making a guy miss. But again, this is a guy you'd love to get. You got to get him in space. Got to give him some room to run and showcase some of that change of direction and elusiveness that he has. Just hasn't materialized at all this season.
On second down, Winston throws short, completes it to O.J. Howard up across midfield, just short of the first down. Be a third and about 1.5 yards for the Bucs. Pickup of 8 on the last play. Jameis Winston has been spreading the ball around with 5, making 8 receivers in the game. 19 for 30, 220 yards. And here's an important third down play for the Bucs. Off the play fake, and the pass batted away. Outstanding play by Emmanuel Ogbah again.
Man, this guy, he's been the greatest DN on the team so far. Talk about Myles Garrett with the pressure, but this guy's been affecting the football a lot. Closest to us right here. And all he's trying to do is force Jameis Winston to make a tough throw, because you got to be able to change your arm angle if you're the quarterback. But he has Alan Cross wide open in the flat. But man, great job.
Bucs keep the offense on the field. They're on the Browns side of midfield, 1.5 yards away. What do you think?
I think hard count's coming.
Okay.
Trying to get him to jump.
Cross lines up as the fullback. Off the fake. Pass to Cross. First down. The tight end out of Memphis, Alan Cross.
Alan Cross is a great receiver. He's a fullback here by trade, but he is a really good receiving option for this team. And Demarius Randall, who made this tackle, is the one that's shaken up. So you don't get it to him the first time. You run a similar type play to sneak him out to the flat, and this is where Randall gets hurt right there. That's Alan Cross. He's not big, but he's heavy. He's a load. Demarius Randall takes the brunt of that strike right there.
Helmet to helmet contact. Randall slow to get up.
Again, they're short in the secondary, just like the Bucs are short at linebacker with all their injuries. Lose Terrence Mitchell to a broken wrist week 4. And then E.J. Gaines is out of this game with concussion symptoms. Now they got to get a little bit creative in the secondary.
First down, Bucs at the Browns 43. Quick fake outside of Adam Humphries. Fights off one tackle, gets across the 40 to the 39. Pickup of 4 on the play.
Those matchups that we saw earlier that we were talking about, Demarius Randall on Mike Evans, that's probably going to disappear now. Or we'll keep an eye and see if Denzel Ward decides to go over to big Mike Evans and try to cover him.
Rhonda, you've played here. How does this weather here in the middle of October affect the players here?
You're right. They got dark uniforms on. It gets hot down here. Everybody's saying it's a beautiful day here in Tampa, but if you're from Cleveland, I'm sure this is not comfortable.
Temperature in the mid-80s. The handoff inside. Jones with a nice little skip move, but he was tripped up on the play and is down to the 35-yard line.
And also, Sam, of note, I mean, this Browns team, and I think last week they looked a little tired. They played 3 overtime games, and that wears on you early in the season. Be through 7 weeks and having played 3 extra periods. I mean, that's a lot.
Now it's another 3rd and short, 10th play of the drive for the Bucs. 3rd and 2. Darius Randall back in for the Browns on defense. Jones in the backfield, all receivers out. And Winston takes off. Makes a move, another move. And it's a first down at the 27. How about those moves by the big quarterback?
Those big lumbering moves. Yeah, you get a team playing man-to-man defense, what the Browns were, and he sees it. He's like, I'm not going to force this football. They opened up the middle of the defense because all the rushers went to the edge. He said, I'll step up and I'll do it myself, and lumbers for a first down for the Bucs.
Looked like Cam Newton on the play. 5 carries, 38 yards for Jameis Winston. The first down pass, and the ball came out. I don't know if it's a completion. The Browns think they have it. It's ruled incomplete.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Second down.
Again, I think this is T.J. Carey that comes in raking at the ball. No, I'm sorry, it's Denzel Ward. Bang, bang play. Whew.
What do you think?
I think I'm going to leave that up to the officials. Slow motion makes it look so much longer. It's not, to me, it's not clear that he made a football move.
That's right.
So I think that's the correct call on the field.
And we're getting a challenge, though. Hugh Jackson has decided to throw the challenge flag and have the officials look at it again.
Cleveland is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
All right, so Cleveland is saying that it was a complete pass, a fumble, and a Cleveland recovery. We'll see what replay decides. The ruling of a incomplete pass is confirmed. Dean Blandino's back in our studios in LA. Dean, what'd you see?
Yeah, good ruling of incomplete. Remember, it's control, both feet, and then the ability to perform an act common to the game. Second foot comes down, ball comes out. It's all simultaneous, incomplete pass.
There's a pass. Jameis Winston completes it down to the 2-yard line to O.J. Howard.
Oh, my
what
goodness.
a catch by O.J. Howard.
Wow. Quarterbacks call these opportunity throws, Sam. When the defender has his back to the quarterback so he can't see the ball, just throw it. You know what your guy can do. And Jameis Winston told us on Friday, I don't care what the matchups are in any game. I like my guys more than your guys. And he got a bunch of 50-50 type pass catchers on this team. O.J. Howard shows exactly why his quarterback trusts him there.
24-yard gain down to the 2-yard line. The Bucs knocking on the door. Ronald Jones, the running back. It's Jones. Touchdown! The first rushing touchdown by a Bucs running back this season. And the Bucs strike with an outstanding drive down the field. The big pass to O.J. Howard sets up the 2-yard touchdown run by Ronald Jones.
Well, look at this. They move all these players to that side of the formation, right? And this is just a zone. You're going to see guys go this way, and then Ronald Jones just cuts it back off of those blocks. There's nobody there. All the Browns defenders were on the other side of the defense. Great play call. Good teams run the ball in the red zone. Their third rushing touchdown of the day.
He dropped the ball in the end zone. I was going to yell to him to go get it. That's your first NFL touchdown. Extra point by Catanzaro is good. Bucs open up the 2-touchdown lead. The rookie out of USC with a touchdown for the Bucs. We'll be right back after this message from Progressive. 13 plays, 73 yards, and Ronald Jones finishes it off with a 2-yard touchdown run.
Well, there's a bunch of Browns fans and Browns players and coaches. They've been on the wrong side of a ton of officials' calls this season that have lost football games for them. But I got to say, Sam, I think what Dean told us is exactly right. There wasn't a move common to the game. That wasn't a fumble. That would have been their fourth takeaway of the game. And then right after, see the big play and then the Ronald Jones touchdown.
The kickoff through the end zone. We're going to get an update from Los Angeles. Kurt Menefee is there. Kurt.
And into the end zone go the Patriots. Blocked punt by Dante Hightower. Scooped up by Kyle Van Noy. And 29 yards later, the Patriots have the lead in what has been a very entertaining game so far. 31-24, but there's still plenty of time left to go in the third quarter. Sam, Rondé, and Shane.
Thanks, Kurt. They went back and forth with Kansas City, and that's what they're doing today with Chicago.
At some point, you'd like to see some defense played in the NFL.
Wow. All right, now the Browns need to come back. Late third quarter. Baker Mayfield to Jarvis Landry. Up to the 31-yard line. We're going to get an update on some injuries. Here's Shane Bacon on the sideline.
Yeah, middle of this Bucs defense has been decimated really at the end of the first half. Quan Alexander out with the knee for the game. Jack Cichy, you saw, come in for one play. The rookie also out for the game with a knee injury.
Thanks, Shane. The final seconds of the third quarter tick off, and that'll be it for the third quarter. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have reopened the 2-touchdown lead after the Browns had come back. Sam Rosen, Rondé Barber, Shane Bacon here in Tampa. We start the fourth quarter with the Bucs leading the Browns 23-9. Baker Mayfield and the Browns from the 31. Nick Chubb gets up to the 35-yard line. Darius Taylor on the tackle. Very close to the first down. And it is a first down.
Nick Chubb's done a lot of good without being spectacular today, right, Sam? The average per carry is about what it was with Carlos Hyde today. We just haven't seen any explosive plays out of this offense. His first 2 carries, and when we saw him earlier season with long touchdowns, did a pretty good job, this Bucs defense up front, keeping him contained.
Bradley in motion. Chubb, nice hold. Good run by Nick Chubb. Down to the Bucs 44-yard line. 21-yard pickup. That was an outstanding run.
Oh, the gap is he's just going to little sprint crawl. You're going to see him wait and slide in there. And look at the block by Zeitler right there. Just taking up Vita Vea. Great running lane.
Chubb. A redirection. Took it outside. Got a short pickup. But that last big run, an example of the linebackers missing in the Bucs defense.
For sure, and that's where they've been good today. We were talking early in this football game how important Quan Alexander was and how much energy he had brought to this Bucs defense. But without him, Darius Taylor's having to be in there, and you might see a little bit more give on this Bucs defense.
Hey, gap by 3.
Duke Johnson in the lineup. Nick Chubb is at running back. Johnson was split out. Comes in motion. Mayfield steps up and throws incomplete. Try to get it to Jarvis Landry. They've targeted Landry several times, only hit him a couple of times in the game.
Well, this is a max protect 2-man route. There's only 2 guys out in this formation. Just can't make a decision here. You would think that he would try to find his check down out here to the side, but look at the coverage again. Carlton Davis doing a great job on Jarvis Landry. Nowhere for this ball to go.
Landry has caught 6 passes in the game, but for only 34 yards.
A lot of those were early, too, really, Sam. All those little smoke screens and quick hitting opportunities.
Bradley motions on 3rd and 8. Mayfield avoids the rush, throws downfield. Great leaping catch by Jarvis Landry. Oh, that was outstanding.
Oh, that's what this connection can be here. Baker Mayfield creating a second opportunity play for his receiver. Jarvis Landry just floating around downfield. I've seen this all day. Again, reducing the shoulder, ducking out, finding some room to throw, not to run, to throw. And look at that catch. What a great picture that was by our camera guys. Catch that reception.
Gain of 18 and a first down for the Browns at the Bucs 25. Duke Johnson in the backfield. Bradley motions. Mayfield with time, throwing deep for the end zone, incomplete. Flag on the play. He tried to hit it. Antonio Callaway, who was covered by Carlton Davis.
Yeah, good coverage, but he panicked a little bit towards the end of this route.
What do you mean by that?
You'll see him watching because he's just a bit out of phase of the receiver down the field. He's playing at the line of scrimmage, which is his strength. He's got enough speed.
Defense number 33. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
That little grab at the end, that's where they got him. See him talk about adjusting the receiver's ability to catch the football, and he did.
So a big play, big penalty on the Bucs. Their 7th penalty of the game. And it's 1st and goal at the 1. Chubb to the goal line. And he's in. Touchdown. Nick Chubb with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. The rookie out of Georgia.
Really good push up front, but I got to tell you, Sam, just nice, patient running by Nick Chubb. You know, everybody that was watching Carlos Hyde, this is what he did this. He learned that from Carlos Hyde. Just the ability to wait. There's going to be a hole that's going to develop there eventually, and stick your nose in there and pile into for a touchdown.
Carlos Hyde wasn't with the Browns a long time, but he had an impact on some of these young players.
Absolutely. You talk to these guys, you talk about the personal relationship and how much of a pro he was, but again, they had a surplus of running backs with Nick Chubb and Duke Johnson, who they wanted to get touches to, so he became expendable.
Greg Joseph's extra point is good. The Browns have answered. They're within 7 plays, 75-yard drive, and Nick Chubb takes it in. Nick Chubb's had himself a nice game. 14 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown, finishing off the long drive.
Yeah, especially nice to see him get going on that drive there. It wasn't that exciting before. He had some nice, powerful runs early in the game, but you saw the explosiveness there, the ability to change direction, run through tackles, and pick up a big touchdown for this Browns team, trying to get back into this football game.
Greg Joseph kicks it off, and it's through the end zone. The Bucs will start from the 25. Bucs trying to break a 3-game losing streak. Jameis Winston in his 2nd start of the season. The Bucs had won the first 2 with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Got to be able to play into the 4th quarter. I mean, this team, that 3-game losing streak, I mean, such big deficits by the defense playing so poorly that you're just chasing the game all day. This is a situation where you have the lead, so your mentality changes a little bit here, trying to protect it.
In motion, O.J. Howard, Peyton Barber is the running back. The play fake by Jameis Winston outside of Cameron Brate. Short pickup. Let's get an update from Kurt Menefee in L.A. Kurt.
Does this count as a long pickup? Latavius Murray, 38-yard score, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. And looks like the Vikings are trying to put it away, up 27-10 in the 4th quarter over the New York Jets. Sam, Rondé, and Shane.
Thanks, Kurt. That's a long, beautiful run by Latavius Murray.
Well, that's a Vikings offense that likes to throw the ball all over the place. And 2 weeks in a row now, getting their running game going.
Peyton Barber, the running back. Jameis Winston. And it's incomplete. Pass intended for Mike Evans. That time was Brian Body Calhoun making the play.
Oh, what a great play by Brian Body Calhoun. See the coverage outside. There's a pressure. So he's playing deep and just has to react to Mike Evans and just finds a way to stick his hand in there and get it out. And here's the pressure. Good job by Peyton Barber picking it up. The pocket was actually clean, but the play by the defender was just outstanding.
Body Calhoun was a starter last year. Some opportunities here. Jacquizz Rodgers in the backfield on 3rd down. Rush coming. Winston steps up. Takes off. And he's got a 1st down. Boy, Jameis Winston, his running has been impressive and important for the Bucs.
Well, it's been so important, especially because the coverage has been good. And just watch the big man get real skinny through the pocket there, and then avoiding this, it gets skinny again. 1st down, Bucs.
Leading rusher on the team, Jameis Winston. 6 carries, 49 yards. That was an 11-yard run for a 1st down.
Well, you can see the conscious effort to protect the football, can't you, Sam? He's not trying to throw the ball in positions where it's going to be in harm's way. And some of that is bringing it down and running with it.
Peyton Barber cutting it back, getting a couple of yards up to the 40-yard line. Jabril Peppers and Christian Kirksey combining on the stop. A little slow back in the huddle by maybe a little discomfort on the part of Jameis Winston, maybe from taking some of those hits. He's running the ball. It's the danger, of course. On second down, Winston with time. Nobody open. Good coverage by the Browns.
Again, I've seen it here a lot in the second half. Coverage of this Browns secondary has really tightened up. Not so much zone. So you get Jameis Winston in the pocket, he's got to stand there. The pocket's good enough. See the pressure coming, but nobody really in his face. And then look, they're playing so much more man here, not leaving these guys open in front of them. Nowhere really for Jameis Winston to put that football.
And another big third down play coming. 3rd and 8 for the Bucs. Ronald Jones splits out to the top of your screen. The running back. The Bucs go empty backfield. Quick toss to Deshaun Jackson. He's brought down. There's a flag on the far side. Jackson never got started.
I think it's the neutral zone infraction again. Myles Garrett.
Offside. Defense number 95. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
All right, so now 3rd and long becomes 3rd and manageable at 3rd and 3 for the Bucs. Penalty number 8 in the game for the Browns.
Seen a lot more blitzes from Greg Williams' defense here this series, really this whole quarter. And he has so much multiplicity to his group. I mean, you see all these guys at the line of scrimmage, and it does a great job confusing offensive lines, pointing out. See Jameis trying to find the middle of the defense here so they can pick up this pressure.
Quiz Rogers picks up the pressure. The pass intended for O.J. Howard right through his hands.
Right through his hands. That's got to be a catch. They're playing man-to-man. He gets a little bit of help. You're going to see another defender come in and try to take O.J. Howard away too. But he gets open, and he's got to catch that football. Has to catch that football. Under pressure, Jameis Winston puts it right on time. You got to expect O.J. Howard to make that play.
3rd drop in the game for the Bucs as a team. Jabril Peppers is deep to receive the punt. Brian Anger lets it go. It bounces in the end zone for a touchback. So the Browns down 7 with plenty of time. Will start from the 20-yard line. Cleveland Browns have had a big turnover in roster. Obviously, when you have 2 seasons back-to-back the way they had. Looking to change the roster.
And most importantly, too, Sam, it's a young football team. They got 5 rookie players playing on offense. 4 of them are starters today.
Browns from the 20. The play fake by Baker Mayfield. Has time. Fires. And it's complete. Jarvis Landry, the man.
Well, this rookie quarterback is starting to heat up a little bit, Sam. He's feeling more comfortable. You see him looking off the defense, looking down the field to pull some of that underneath coverage away. Then throws a bullet to Jarvis Landry. Nice play.
They're starting to click. Landry, 8 catches, 72 yards. 20-yard pickup on the last play. And the toss to Nick Chubb. Flag on the play. Chubb with a strong run. Still going. Finally brought down from behind by Vita Vea at the 46-yard line. But looks like we've got a holding on the Browns that negates a good run.
Holding. Offense number 88. 10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
Tight end Darren Fells.
Yeah, both rookies heating up. Nick Chubb is starting to really run the football now. You can tell sometimes you get need a little rhythm. There's a bunch of holds here. Fells is right there on Nasib. Jarvis Landry probably on Levante David. There was about 3 flags that came in on that play. Look at Nick Chubb out to this play, just running through people.
Ball back to the 30-yard line. 1st and 20 for the Browns. With Johnson in the backfield for Cleveland. Short pass to Johnson. He's got a couple of blockers. Johnson turns it into a nice gain. Up to the 44-yard line, but there's a flag on the play.
I believe that's another hold. You know, the design of this play,
Oh, boy.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 19. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Rashad Perryman in his first game as a Brown called for the penalty.
Almost every time you get a running back on side saddle on one side of the formation, you're going to get a screen. There's Rashad Perryman right here. You see it's blocking the back right there. So when running backs are over here and they come over here and don't block anybody, that's 100% screen. And Bucs have new players at linebacker, new young players in the secondary. They didn't see that coming at all.
Back-to-back good plays wiped out. The Browns back to their 24. Baker Mayfield throwing too high. Antonio Callaway, the intended receiver. But that's how you ruin a good thing. The Browns were starting to get some momentum. Guys making plays. Chubb making a play. Landry making a play. Suddenly, back-to-back penalties takes him back 25 yards.
Well, when Hugh Jackson goes and looks at the whys of this game, penalties are going to be the very first thing he looks at. Defensive penalties given the Bucs first downs early in the game, and now these holding penalties on offense. Again, those self-inflicted wounds are tough to overcome, especially when you got a young quarterback trying to get in sync with some young receivers.
Have to get to midfield for a first down. Mayfield steps up under pressure. He's got room. Takes off. Across the 40. Across midfield. Mayfield picks up a block and goes down just short of the 40. There's a flag on the play. Mayfield also got into the face of Jordan Whitehead. 35-yard run by Baker Mayfield.
Well, we've seen him scramble all day long. It's the first time that we've seen him run with the football. See how they work this out. They're making they got a big conference over here going on. I think this is going to be Whitehead on the hit to a defenseless player as Baker Mayfield was sliding in.
The quarterback was still a runner and therefore is allowed to be hit in the head. He had not yet begun his slide. There is therefore no foul. The result of the play is a first down. No fouls on the play.
Well, this is the new emphasis of the rule here as we understand it. You have to make yourself known that you're going down. If you slide late as a defender is going into tackle, you do not have that protection any longer. That's exactly why they picked that flag up right there.
It was close to being a taunting as far as Baker Mayfield was concerned when he got up, got right into Whitehead's face. Nevertheless, flags have been picked up a couple of times by this group. Now Baker Mayfield and the Browns with a first down at the Bucs 41. I think that was the discussion along the Bucs sideline. Referee Sean Hockley went over there. And the officials talking to Hugh Jackson. And we resume play with the Browns on the move by virtue of the 35-yard run. Nick Chubb is the running back. It's Chubb straight ahead, breaking through, staying on his feet, and getting inside the 30 to the 29.
He does such a good job running through tackles, narrow running lanes. There's nothing here. You're going to see the defensive end, Jason Pierre-Paul, come into your screen. He's got him tackled. This should be a tackle. He just shoves him off, stays on his feet, picks up 12 yards. Wow. Powerful young runner. He's built just like Carlos Hyde, about 220 pounds, but for that kind of size, got some nice quickness and power.
Very impressive, the rookie out of Georgia. 15 carries, 74 yards for Nick Chubb. And the Browns with a first down at the Bucs 29. Mayfield with time, fires to Njoku, inside the 10. The tight end, Njoku, down to the 6-yard line.
You talked about momentum. It is clearly on the side of the Cleveland Browns right now. And again, I'll mention this. No Quan Alexander. The underneath defense jumps. You see Darius Taylor coming to your screen right there. Not patient enough in coverage right there. Jump the guy to the flat. Tight end's wide open behind him.
They stopped the play. False start on the Browns. 23-yard gain.
Offense number 70. 5 yards. First down.
That's on Kevin Zeitler, the right guard, on the false start. Another penalty, number 11 for the Browns in the game. It's cost him 94 yards.
Wow.
That pass to Njoku was for 23 yards.
This is the offense we're used to, these explosive plays. We don't expect Baker Mayfield to get a 35-yard run. But what they've been really good at this year is pushing the ball down the field, taking up chunk yardage.
The fake to Chubb, the pass is complete to Jarvis Landry down to the 2-yard line.
Oh, Jarvis Landry just on the end of the line of scrimmage right here. I got to tell you, if this ball comes out a second earlier, I think he walks into the end zone, but he has to wait for it just a bit and gives the safety a second to come in and make the tackle. But again, I really like what I've seen out of Baker Mayfield all day today. They started with a bunch of quick passes, making it easy for him. But as he's worked his way into this football game, they're opening it up for him. And you can see the energy that he's providing for his football team.
2nd and goal at the 2. The play fake. Mayfield looking and throws it away. There was a receiver in the vicinity, but there was no way that that ball was going to be contested. It'll be a 3rd and goal for the Browns.
Well, he's looking over here to Njoku on the right side. Look him just go through his progression. It's not something he really did in college, go through progressions. But his receiver had fallen down in the route, and so he had to come all the way back to the other side of the field. Only a 2-man route.
No huddle on the play. Mayfield going up and down the line, instructing the lineman. Nick Chubb is the running back. On 3rd and goal, it's Chubb. He's got the opening, and he is stopped short of the goal line. He is inside the 1, half a yard away.
This will be a good picture to see just how short he is and rally into the football. Brent Grimes got to get in there. Isaiah Johnson, Darius Taylor, and they're going to go for it.
There they
Jackson
go.
Again.
Quarterback sneak. Mayfield, they're trying to push him in. And he did not make it. He did not make it.
They tried to go quick, Sam. Tried to catch the Bucs off guard, but they were ready for it, and they stacked up that Browns offensive line.
Look at the Bucs celebration.
Getting the boat and rowing.
Oh, how about that?
Oh. Yeah, this is a great defensive stand here. You see a Darius Taylor go over the top. He knew it was a quarterback sneak, and then just the push. Well done by this Bucs defense. Give up all that yardage, some big plays on that drive, but stand up when they needed to.
So the Browns get oh so close and are stopped, and for the 3rd time in the game, the Bucs will start an offensive series inside their own 1-yard line. Once they were caught for a safety, the other time they passed their way out of it.
Well, Greg Williams has got to stay aggressive here as a play caller. He cannot give them that yardage that he gave last time they were backed up.
Just under 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Jameis Winston's going to throw, and he gets it to his tight end, Auclair, and Anthony Auclair gets up to the 6-yard line. Jabril Peppers on the stop. Cleveland had a 10-play, 79-yard drive, one of their best of the season, and they get stopped short of the goal line.
See the frustration on Hugh Jackson's face. All that work put in on that drive to come out with nothing. A field goal there would have given you a chance to use those timeouts and try to get the ball back, but instead you get to stop on defense, and the Bucs can really go into their 4-minute offense here.
Jaquiz Rogers gets up to the 9-yard line.
It'll be ball control, right? You don't want incompletions to stop the clock, so expect them to continue to run this football.
Browns with 2 timeouts remaining. They lost a timeout on a failed coach's challenge. So here is a huge 3rd down play. Bucs have to get to the 11-yard line for a 1st down.
Must stop situation on defense. You're going to put everybody on the line of scrimmage, so you can see the Bucs getting a bunch formation, see if they can disrupt that. See what they have here. Expect pressure from the Browns.
Pressure. Winston steps up, and they brought him down. Emmanuel Ogbah made another big play. Ogba's had himself a tremendous game.
You are exactly right, Sam. This is a situation where rush and cover has to work together. And Ogba's right there in the middle working on Evan Smith, and he's just patient. He backs off. There's nowhere for Jameis Winston to throw that football, so he has to eat it. He's lucky he holds on to it. Look, he gets on the ball again. He's able to keep it under control there, but great job by this Browns defense answering and getting a stop when they needed to.
Brian Anger to pump away just inside the end line. Jabril Peppers in midfield. Now in Bucs territory. Weaves his way. Big return. And he is brought down at the 15-yard line. Great return by Jabril Peppers.
I think every Browns fan's been waiting for Jabril Peppers to have a breakout return. He was so dynamic as a returner in college. It just hasn't materialized in the pros, but watch how patient he is. You see Justin Watson right there, number 17. He's got to make that tackle, but he makes a miss. And then the jump cut and running through tackles here. Wow, sets them up exactly where they want to be, back inside the red area. And see that excitement on Baker Mayfield's face right now.
43-yard punt, but a 32-yard return by Jabril Peppers gives the Browns the ball at the Bucs 16-yard line. Empty backfield. Mayfield with time, and he throws. Landry with a diving grab. And he is in for the touchdown. The official from the far side came over and said he carried his momentum into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland.
Well, he caught the ball, Sam.
Is that the receiver possessed the ball and slid into the end zone untouched. It is a touchdown.
Watch him catch this ball. This is a completion. And then he's on the ground. He reaches out. Touchdown.
Oh.
That is some savvy stuff by Jarvis Landry. What a fantastic heads-up play by the receiver. Obviously, nobody touches him. He's not down. Touchdown. Browns. What a game we got here, Sam.
Jarvis
What a
Landry, who came up a couple of yards short on the previous drive, but this time he's in with a great effort. And now the Browns with a chance to tie the game. They've been down by 14 points twice. Greg Joseph with a chance to tie it up. Jarvis Landry, 10 catches, 97 yards. And the kick is through, and the Browns have come back from 2 touchdowns down twice in the game to tie it at 23 with 2:28 to go. Welcome you from the game you've been watching, Carolina and Philadelphia. Just a moment ago, Jarvis Landry with a beautiful catch on a pass from Baker Mayfield, and he scrambled into the end zone untouched for a touchdown.
Such a heads-up play.
And the Browns have come from down 16-2 and 23-9 to tie this game. Greg Joseph kicking off. And this one is through the end zone. And the Bucs will start at the 25. Carissa Thompson has an update for us. Carissa, it's all yours.
Thanks, Sam. So the Panthers trailed 17-0 to start the fourth. Play action. Greg Olsen for the score. Ensuing drive. 4th down. Last chance for the Eagles. Carson Wentz is stripped. Game over. Panthers win this one 21-17. Sam?
Thanks, Carissa. Carolina now 4-2 in the NFC South. New Orleans 4-1. Tampa needs to win to keep pace. They're at 2-3. Out of the shotgun, Jameis Winston throws a wobbly pass, but caught by Mike Evans out of bounds. Up at the 35, that's a first down for the Bucs.
Well, we're going to see what Jameis Winston's all about right now. 2-minute drive opportunity to win a game. But Sam, Deshaun Jackson not in the football game. His helmet is not with him. He has 0 catches on the day. This has not been a factor. Don't know why he wouldn't be in the football game at this juncture.
Good point. Quiz Rogers, the running back. All receivers out. Winston, plenty of time. Nobody open. Look at him get away. Winston stays in bounds, trying to pull away. Is brought down at the 41-yard line. Jameis Winston, 7 carries, 55 yards in the game.
How about that magic trip? Wow. How did he get out of that?
We're down to the 2-minute warning. This has been a good ball game. And they all come up with some big plays. We're tied at 23. 2 minutes remaining. The Bucs with the ball, 2nd and 4 at their own 41. And the Bucs have all of their timeouts remaining. Quiz Rogers, the running back. All receivers out, and the pass caught. Adam Humphries with a catch. There's a flag on the play. Humphries down at the Browns' 48-yard line.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
Donovan Smith, a left tackle, with the hold for the Bucs. That's their 7th penalty of the game.
Well, he's been struggling with Myles Garrett all day long. That's the hook. He takes him to the ground and takes this great play away. This was a tight window that he threw that little slip screen into.
Ball back to the 31-yard line. They have to get to the 45 for a 1st down. Deshaun Jackson is in. Winston with time. Wanted to go deep to Jackson. Goes the other side and finds a man open and completes it to Mike Evans. Into Browns territory down to the 48-yard line. It's a 1st down for the Bucs.
He was looking for Jackson to start this play, but good coverage here. Denzel Ward staying underneath. But what a good second reaction by Jameis Winston. Could have ran that thing, but saw the players in his face, and he said, you know what, Mike Evans is open. Let me get it to him. Good play.
Quickly to the tight end, O.J. Howard, who's brought down at the 41-yard line. Good tackle by Denzel Ward.
Been in this situation before, Jameis Winston has. You mentioned that 8-game winning drive. Now it's about clock management here in protecting the football. All you need is a field goal to win.
1 minute remaining. Bucs have 3 timeouts. No one open. Winston slides down across the 40, but he's short of the 1st down. There's a flag on the play. O.J. Howard pointing toward the Browns.
Yeah, I think it's defensive holding.
Holding. Defense number 55. That 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
That's an exasperated Greg Williams, because here's O.J. Howard, and there's Denard Avery, I'm sorry, and just watch him grab him right there. Flag comes in right behind it. Not necessarily where Jameis Winston was looking, but the officials this year, if they see a hold, even away from the play, they're going to throw that flag.
12 penalties on the Browns have cost them 99 yards. And here, another 1st down at the Browns' 35. Winston, quick pass, complete to Cameron Brate. Brate takes a hard hit, but he's got a 1st down at the Browns' 24. And now a timeout has been called. The Bucs, 42 seconds remaining. Definitely in field goal range for Chandler Catanzaro. Here in the 2nd half, the Browns made a big comeback.
Absolutely, Sam. This was all about the Browns in the 2nd half. You mentioned it over again. Down 14 twice. The Bucs answer, put themselves up 14 again, and then the momentum shift, and Baker Mayfield just went off. Nick Chubb had some nice runs. Baker Mayfield had that long run on 3rd down, 35 yards to get them down here. And then his main guy, Jarvis Landry, with an awesome play for a touchdown to tie the football game. But as we stand, Jameis Winston has his team marching down this football field. A very efficient drive. Helped again, Sam, we've mentioned it all day long. Penalties on the Browns defense has killed them and trying to get stops on this Bucs offense.
1st down for the Bucs at the Browns' 24.
Previous play is under review.
Okay. We are within the final 2 minutes, so all replays come from the booth.
I don't think there should be a question on the catch. Could be, wow. I missed that the first time.
Brate. Hit.
Doesn't look like he loses possession, even though the ball moves, and the ball can move on contact, but he still has his arm under the ball. There's really not a lot of movement there. I would be shocked if they overturn this.
Cameron Braid on the reception. Let's bring in Dean Blandino from Los Angeles, our expert. Dean, what do you think?
Yeah, two things. They're looking at the catch, and then they're also going to look at the spot. I do think it is a catch. He took several steps, went to the ground. I don't think the ball ever separated from his arm. Maybe it touches the ground, but it's not clearly loose. And then they're going to look at whether he made the line of game, which it did appear the ball made it past the line of game.
Thank you, Dean. John Hockley is our referee. His first year as a referee in the NFL. 5 years an official in the league. Cameron Braid having a little chat with the officials. The quarterbacks have been impressive in this game. Jameis Winston, 28 for 44, 310 yards. Here's another look.
And that line's unofficial, of course. It's superimposed. But as he goes down, it's past that line.
Yeah.
So if they're looking for the spot, they're trying to confirm the spot. I think they have that right at the 24-yard line. This is a long discussion here with New York. See what Al Riveron and those folks up north come back with.
All right. The decision has been made.
Ruling on the field stands as called. It was a completed pass. Cleveland is still charged their second timeout of the half. It's first down.
They shouldn't be charged with a timeout.
They had taken the timeout before the replay. They were trying to save some time on the clock, Sam. Yeah, I missed that. I missed that as well.
So now the Browns charged with a couple of timeouts. That is Chandler Catanzaro, who is 1 for 1 field goal wise in this game. He has missed an extra point. He has 5 career game winners as he stands by with 45 seconds remaining. On first down, Jaquiz Rogers carries down to the 21-yard line. Cleveland Browns have not won on the road in their last 23 road games.
They've put themselves in some tough positions, haven't they, Sam? They've played. Hugh Jackson was reminding us this. They played an overtime game in Oakland, had to go all the way across the country, played an overtime game in Baltimore, and given themselves opportunities to win the game. They just haven't been able to finish with victories. And this play here is just to get the ball in a situation where Chandler Catanzaro is comfortable. They put it on the right hash line, and there's a reason why. This game is 23-23, first touchdown of the day. They've had problems here at Tampa forever, and he adds to it. Misses an extra point. That's why this game is tied, not 24-23.
This will be a 40-yard field goal try for Chandler Catanzaro. The Bucs look for their 3rd win of the season.
Well, give them their offense some credit too, Sam. That was a nice drive. There were some nice plays in there. Of course, benefited by some penalties, but Jameis made some really nice throws in crunch time when he had to.
Garrison Sanborn, the long snapper. Brian Anger is the holder.
Third and final timeout, Cleveland.
And the Browns used that last timeout.
Well, it's too hot in Tampa to put anybody on ice. As the cliche goes.
Well, this is a game that started out with a lot of mistakes on the part of the Browns. The Bucs building up a solid lead, getting good defensive play, but the Browns came back.
You nailed it. I don't think any of us saw this coming like this, but it's what the game turned out to be. Good play early, but the Browns with a furious comeback in the second half, and leads us to this big kick here by Chandler Catanzaro.
Here it is. From 40 yards out, it's on the way, and it is no good! And the Browns will play another overtime game, their 4th of the season.
That's amazing. Amazing. Give them credit for getting back into the football game, though, Sam. This was a team that looked like they were out of it at one point. They just kept fighting back with their young football team. And the snap hold is perfect. The kick is just pushed again.
When you miss an extra point and a game-winning field goal attempt, is your job in jeopardy?
Oh, it's got to be. I mean, it's over and over again with the kicking here in Tampa. Can't get right. No happier player or person on any sideline than Hugh Jackson. But 4 overtime games in one season.
That's incredible.
That's got to be a record, right? Do we have that? We got to find some research on this.
Gentlemen, welcome to overtime.
Certainly this
the rules of overtime
soon
as
in the
Each team will get one
season.
possession unless the first team scores a touchdown or there's a defensive score. If the first team scores a field goal, we're in sudden death. Fourth quarter timing rules will be in effect. All replays will be initiated from the booth, and both teams will have 2 timeouts. Cleveland, you're still the visitor. What's your call?
Tails.
He's called tails. Tails is the call. It is a tails. You have won the toss. Cleveland will receive. Cleveland will receive on this end. Good luck, gentlemen.
All right, here we go. Overtime. Chandler Catanzaro can't believe he missed. Overtime is next. This note is for Bucs fans to understand the overtime rules. Browns fans know them.
Yeah, they can recite this verbatim right now. They don't even have to read this. 4 times, the 83 Packers checked 5 overtimes in a season. That is the most.
Catanzaro's kickoff goes through the end zone. The Browns will start from the 25. The Browns tied Pittsburgh in the opening game that went to overtime. That ended in a tie. Then they lost in overtime at Oakland, the game you did, Rondé. And then the following week, they won in overtime at home against Baltimore.
Well, these are the moments you live for if you're any quarterback, especially a young quarterback. He's been here before. Just got to possess the football, take care of the football. 10-minute quarter so you can run your normal offense.
Nick Chubb is the running back. Jarvis Landry has had a big day now. Fake to the right, looking to set up a screen pass, throws it into the ground, flags on the play.
There's been so much laundry on the ground in this 4th quarter. Holy cow.
Holding. Offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Desmond Harrison, the rookie left tackle, holding JPP.
Well, this is one of the premier matchups of the day. JPP right there against Desmond Harrison. And really good job, though, by Bo Allen. You see him in your screen right there in the corner? He recognized screen right away, took Chubb away from Baker Mayfield. That's why he was pumping that ball so much and really caused that hole.
13 penalties on the Browns. They're back to their 15. Nick Chubb picking his way through, gets up to the 20-yard line to pick up a 5 on the play. Nick Chubb is taking over as the #1 running back for the Browns after the trade of Carlos Hyde on Friday. 17 carries, 80 yards, and 1 touchdown.
That'll bring his average back to normal, right? He talked to Todd Haley. He's like, you got a guy that's averaging 10 yards per carry. Eventually, it's going to come back to normal. But yeah, that's been a very productive day for Nick Chubb. Really got some positive receiving game too from Duke Johnson.
Duke Johnson in the game. Mayfield outside. Ratley. Damian Ratley takes it out of bounds at the 29-yard line and bring up a 3rd and 6. 8 of 9 on the play. Baker Mayfield, 22 of 32 for 208 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Well, this Bucs defense is playing so well early in the football game. Remind everybody that they lost Quan Alexander, and it's really kind of been helter-skelter since then. They really haven't been as sound in the run game. They've dropped some coverages on the back end. He was their play caller. Been a definite change in this defense.
Here's the big 3rd down play. Have to get to the 35 for a 1st down. Mayfield throws, and it's broken up. An outstanding lunging play by Carlton Davis, the rookie out of Auburn.
Yeah. Carlton Davis has been absolutely balling today, man. He's right here in his coverage, playing off coverage, which I say he's not great at. But look how patient he is. His pedal, the read and react is spectacular right there. Sticks his foot in the ground, no wasted movement. No chance for Njoku to make a tough catch. Well done by this Bucs defense to get off the football field.
Britton Colquitt, good high kick. Adam Humphries at the 18 has some room. Trying to go wide, and the Browns have it covered. Outstanding coverage on the play by Tanner Vallejo. 54-yard punt, -6 on the return.
This is nice here. Adam Humphries is not going to run away from anybody, but he had that edge if he gets by Vallejo there. But what a nice special teams play. You remember, Sam, the special teams group has been doing this all day. They had the stop or the down punt right at the 1-yard line that led to the safety to start this football game. So well done by that unit.
The Bucs start from their 11-yard line. Now they need any type of score to win the game. Winston dropped the football. And I believe he got it back. Whoa.
Oh, that's his second mishandled snap in as many weeks, too. You know, Jameis Winston started wearing a glove this year on his left hand, but that's just him getting out a little bit too quick. He's a little anxious pulling away from center. He never gets it. See, he knows right away that ball's not getting to him. And fundamentals, the center quarterback exchange has got to be fundamental.
Good job getting it back. DeSean Jackson is on. Adam Humphries and DeSean Jackson to the right on 2nd and 11. Winston on the move. Throws, and wide open is Chris Godwin. He's brought down at the 34-yard line.
This has been all day with both quarterbacks, really. Just Chris Godwin just keeps working here as a receiver here, and Jameis Winston buys enough time. This is Chris Godwin right here in the slot, and he's blocking first, check releasing. He's just an check down option for Jameis, but look at him spin out. Jameis sees it. Great understanding between the two. Pick up some nice yardage.
Gain of 23 on the play. Winston sends all receivers out. Fires and completes to DeSean Jackson. That's their first hookup of the game.
Well, they tried him down the field a couple of times early in the game, but weren't able to connect. And this is just a little circle out, but watch how close Agba is to deflecting another football, just inches away. DeSean Jackson has his first catch of the day, and it's an important one.
Jameis Winston is connected with 10 different receivers in this game. First down, Bucs at their 44. Ronald Jones is the running back. Cameron Brate moves.
Ready.
Jackson motions. 2 tight ends in the game. And around to Jackson, but he stopped. Oh, they had that smelled out. There is a flag on the play. Jamie Collins came in to make the tackle. He wasn't fooled on that.
Illegal shift. Offense, number 11. That penalty's declined. The play results in 2nd down.
They ran this play. LA Chargers ran this play so many times last week, and the end guy at the line of scrimmage never set the edge. Not today. That play is not going to beat us. You might beat us on something else, but no, it's a copycat league. We're not going to fall for it today, Tampa.
Loss of 6 on the play. Back to the 37-yard line. Winston throws short, and it's intercepted. Second pick of the game, and the 4th takeaway of the game by the Browns. Jamie Collins.
He didn't even see Jamie Collins. This is the first ball that Jameis Winston threw today where he tried to force it in. This is Jamie Collins right in the middle of your screen. He's just kind of spying, just sitting there waiting, reading the quarterback's eyes. Thank you very much. Another takeaway by this Bucs defense. He's trying to get Chris Godwin right there. He did not see 51 standing there right in his path for that interception.
Jameis Winston, 2nd interception of the game. And the Browns have the ball in Bucs territory at the 45.
And this defense just takes the ball away. It's amazing how many interceptions, fumbles, calls, recovered that they have.
They have won the turnover battle 4-0. 4 takeaways by the Browns. 2 interceptions, giving them 11 on the season. 20 takeaways. Now it's up to Baker Mayfield. The handoff to Nick Chubb, and he stopped for no gain. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense has certainly responded to the change in defensive coordinators. They've come up with a big effort.
Absolutely, and they're playing fast. They really are playing with a lot more urgency. Again, we know that they simplified some things for these young players on defense. This is important time now, technique time. Don't change your personality, your mentality in 2-minute situations. Just got to find a way to get a stop.
All receivers out. Mayfield throws. Oh, leaping catch. Down at the 38-yard line by David Njoku, the tight end. Njoku with his 4th catch.
Well, Njoku had some drop problems this year amongst all these receivers, but really we hadn't been an issue. We haven't talked about it at all today. The drops that this receiving core has had this year. They've been really good at making plays for their young quarterback.
From here, it would be a 56-yard field goal attempt. But let's see. It's a 3rd down. 3rd and 3 for the Browns. Mayfield being rushed, and they got him. He is sacked back at the 45-yard line by Carl Nassib, the former Brown.
That's the one thing you can't do if you're Baker Mayfield here is take a sack. And Carl Nassib over here comes back to haunt his former team again. Look at that long arm rush and the awesome spin move. How about that? I don't think of him as much of a rusher, but that was spectacular little spin move off the tackle Hubbard. The Bucs defense rises to the occasion once again.
Takes the Browns out of field goal range. Colquitt on the punt, and that's going to go into the end zone. So the Bucs will start from the 20-yard line. We check in LA where Carissa Thompson is standing by. Carissa.
Thanks, Sam. So there's 2 seconds left. Down a score. Trubisky's only option, the Hail Mary. Kevin White catches it on the 1, but the Patriots defense with the huge stop. Game over. Patriots win 38-31 and improve to 5-2. Sam?
Oh man, thanks, goodness. Carissa. What a replay. That was incredible. And the Patriots find another way to win.
They always do, don't they?
Right here, the Bucs with the ball at the 20-yard line. 4:11 to go, and they have both their timeouts remaining. Quiz Rogers on the carry, Jamie Collins on the stop.
I'm wondering right now if Todd Monken is thinking protect the football here and not put Jameis Winston in a position where he can make another mistake. I mean, that last interception was just killer. You know, he's talked all off season and really in the 2 games that he started about protecting the football, but yet here we are again with turnovers being the story of the day for this Bucs team.
On 2nd down, Quiz Rogers picks up the blitz. The pass too high for Adam Humphries. That brings up a 3rd and long for the Bucs, and a big call here because if they don't convert, they give up the ball to the Browns with time remaining.
Big play call here. This is when you expect your big-time players, your star players, your O.J. Howards, your Mike Evans. These guys got to find a way to make a play for their quarterback here and pick up a 1st down. Mike Evans, top of your screen. Demarius Randall covering.
Quiz Rogers in the backfield with Jameis Winston. Winston with time, and the pass is incomplete. Winston, who was so accurate earlier in the game, losing that accuracy here late.
Well, a lot of that is because the Browns have gone to playing more man-to-man coverage. This is Christian Kirksey just covering up Cameron Brate. I mean, this is not a catchable ball. I mean, it's off target, but it's because the coverage is so good. You got to put it out of harm's way, away from the linebacker. It's an incompletion.
3 and out for the Bucs, with 3:27 remaining here in the overtime. Jabril Peppers is deep. Good punt by Brian Anger. Here's Peppers, had a good return earlier in the game, breaks a couple of tackles, and lost the football. And the Bucs have recovered.
Oh my goodness!
In Browns territory.
What what more can happen in this game, Sam? Oh, my God. Wow.
Isaiah Johnson with the recovery.
Jabril Peppers had done some good work here, breaking some tackles. Look at him jump over Jaquiz Rogers. And there it is. I think that's Anthony Auclair who got his hand in there to cause that fumble. Yep, 82 gets off the ground, finds the ball, causes a strip. Johnson there for the recovery.
So now the Bucs are set up with plenty of time, a couple of timeouts, and they are in Browns territory. And any score will win. But their field goal kicker's confidence is shaky. Jameis Winston throwing deep and overthrown. Tried to get it to Mike Evans, and he was well covered on the play by Demarius Randall.
Yeah, Demarius Randall's done a pretty good job on Mike Evans all day long. I know he has 6 catches today, but man-to-man, you got it. Crucial time in the game. You put your safety, your converted safety back at corner, and he's in great position there. Not able to come down and make a spectacular grab as Mike Evans.
Evans with 6 catches in the game for an even 100 yards. Winston 30 for 50. This is a passing team. Kirk Cutter, the head coach, says we don't apologize for being a passing team. There's a pass to Evans, and he's brought down at the 41-yard line.
We're getting in that range here, Sam, where you got to consider, if you're Dirk Cutter, what decision do I make? Chandler Catanzaro, you said his confidence is shaky. I'm going to say it's shot. You miss an extra point, you miss a game-winning field goal opportunity. That gives your head coach 0 confidence to put you on the football field, especially with time left on the clock.
Right now it would be 59 yards for a field goal try. They need another first down. And there's movement, flags fly.
Unimpeded to the quarterback.
Oh, man.
Defense number 55. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Jannard Avery, the rookie, called on the penalty.
Well, important third down, just a little anxious. He may have been lined up offside, Sam, all the way around. He's trying to point at DeMar Dotson, but he was the one that initiated the movement and caused DeMar Dotson to get out of his stance.
6th first down in the game for the Bucs on a Browns penalty. The ball down to the 36-yard line. Be movement on the right side, but Winston now in trouble, is sacked. Myles Garrett got to him.
Well, kind of like last week, they missed this false start by DeMar Dotson. This is movement early. He's right there. Right? That's a false start. But then Jameis Winston, and come on, he knows better than this, right? He's been in the league for 5 years. You absolutely cannot take a shot. You don't have to be a hero right here, but instead he takes the sack, moves him back towards the 50-yard line. Wow.
It is 2nd down. The Bucs have the ball at the Browns' 48. They have to get to the 26 for a first down. And a timeout. With 2:15 remaining in the overtime, and the game tied 23-all. And the team's looking for a win. Tuesday night, the big one begins. The World Series in Boston. 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. It's the Red Sox and the Dodgers. The Dodgers in the World Series again. Joe Buck, John Smoltz on the call. It's a do not miss. Down. Field goal range.
About 7 yards, Sam, you think?
I don't know. It's a long kick. I think they need more than that.
Well, this is the important thing right there. If you kick a long field goal and leave time on the clock,
that's right.
It's just not advisable.
Here's Winston in trouble. They got him again. The Browns defense comes up with the big sacks.
Next
Larry Ogunjobi.
And Larry Ogunjobi is a guy. I love Larry Ogunjobi. Plays right over the football as a nose tackle on this defense. He's so quick and powerful. But this is just a little stunt move. He gets benefited from his defensive end, little in-tackle game. He comes away with the sack. Another sack of Jameis Winston. And, man, what a ball game here, Sam.
4 sacks in the game for the Browns. Under 2 minutes to go. Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a third and way long. First down at the 26. And the ball on their own 45-yard line as they have been pushed back by 2 sacks.
They got close to field goal range and to the point where they're going to have to make a decision on the kick, but man, back-to-back plays, sacks, great push by that defensive line, that young defensive line that we've been talking about all day long. They're just winning. When it matters, they're winning on that side of the football.
Let's see what Jameis Winston comes up with here. Jackson motions toward the line. Winston being rushed, throws, and he completes it inside the 40. Out of bounds at the 41-yard line was Deshaun Jackson with a big catch. But right now you would be looking at a 59-yard field goal try.
Here he comes.
And Catanzaro's coming on the field.
Well, this is basically telling your team, we're winning it here. We're just going to have to hold on to our butts, because look at the field position. If he misses this kick, he's going to be on the 49-yard going in.
Catanzaro from 59 yards away. He's 1 for 2 in the game. His career long 60 yards. And
Dirk threw the flag, the challenge flag.
All challenges should come from upstairs in overtime.
There is no challenge on the play in overtime. All reviews are initiated from the booth.
There you go.
4th down.
All right.
Well, this is an amazing show of confidence in your kicker. He struggled all day, missed the extra point that was crucial, and then missed the game-winning field goal. And instead of saying we're going to do something else, punt it, and maybe play for the tie, I'm going to put him back on the football field and let him attempt a 59-yard field goal.
Garrison Sanborn is the long snapper. The holder is Brian Anger. And I think they're checking here.
Well, I think Tampa should lose a timeout. I think that's what's going to happen. They will lose
Dirk
a timeout.
Cutter throwing the challenge flag here in overtime.
Tampa Bay is charged a timeout due to attempting to challenge a play when it's a booth review. Timeout Tampa Bay. They have no timeouts remaining. It's 4th down.
All right. Catanzaro getting plenty of time to think about it. Season 36-yard.
Sam, he's missed from this hash both times. The extra point was on this side, pushed right. Game-winning field goal attempt was on this hash, pushed right.
Here we go. He gets it off. Can it hook in? It's good! It's good! He made it from 59!
Look at that face on Baker Mayfield. Can you believe it?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win it in overtime.
I think I've used this term a lot today, Sam. Wow.
Wow is right.
Again, the snap hole is perfect. The kick looked like it may have turned a little right, and then he put the hook, the Shane Bacon hook, our resident golfer, down on the field, turns it in, and utter disbelief.
Baker Mayfield is in shock as the Browns are beaten in overtime. That's their second overtime loss of the season. The Bucs are 3-3 on the season as they win in overtime 26-23. We'll be right back.